Recording now. Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to Odyssey of the Dragonlords. I channeled my inner Mercer there for a moment, sorry. Uh,
Eek.
so, uh, last we left off, the party comprising of Porunga, Derek, Drakgar, Metius, Juno, and Alexandri, well, they all arrive at the city of Mitros after a bit of ups and downs, involving the attack of a green hag who was, well, the actress Sima in the city of Astoria, with the aim of, well, what else to say, but killing one of the party members. With timely intervention, Sima was fought back, but she managed to escape somewhere. Still not unclear on where she might have gone, because due to her magical ability, she was able to leave no trace of her movements after that. The party, however, took this chance to question the traveling acting troupe, and managed to even get a bit of nymph hair out of that they perhaps could use to craft an item at the Mitchel Forge. Besides that, the party left Astoria, departing to the city of Mitros, along the way running into a group of soldiers that were riding on top of copper dragons. This group of soldiers, calling themselves the New Dragonlords, were sent by the King of Mitros in order to escort the rest of the way the party back to the city. Because, as it turns out, a great storm has been hitting the city of Mitros, and it has, well, made it very difficult for the people to live, so to speak. The party was escorted the rest of the way there, and they were quickly rushed to the main palace, but not before being given a map of the city by an ally of them, a man known as Pericles, who the party had previously assisted. Uh, After entering the palace, the king of Mitros, King Acastus, welcomed the party with a bit of a almost condescending tone in his voice, uh, revealing that he is currently holding a council of sorts to determine how would the best course of action be to deal with this foul weather that has been brought about by the Lord of Storms, seemingly. Amongst his, well, council, you would have Queen Valos, goddess of wisdom, uh, King Castus's concubine Bella, as well as two other figures. One of them, Commander Gaius of the Order of Sidon, the party had previously encountered, and another, a newcomer, a priest of Lutheria known as Chandrus. Together, all of them plus the party are going to determine how to best deal with this situation. As I will move you guys back to the map of the throne room as soon as my computer stops eating shit. Here we go. Oh, right as I say that, my computer has a lag spike. Uh, Sorry about that. I am trying out this new monitor. I think it's lagging out the game. But here we go. Uh, so yes, you guys find yourselves here in the throne room, being surrounded by, well, very important people on all sides, plus the guards of King Acastus. So I guess the best way I could describe the situation is, well, a verbal standoff of sorts. Uh, so yes, we left off with the introductions of Gaius and Chandras into the mix, and how King Acastus has introduced them as fellow advisors for his court. After having introduced Chandras and Gaius, Acastus will look at the rest of you guys and say, "Right, so on to the matter at hand. I'd not brought you all the way here to waste your time. As you can clearly tell, my city is suffering. And as its king, I cannot stand idly by while that happens. I've gathered all of you here because I've heard that your exploits and your, well, knowledge, wisdom, and the like surpasses that of many others who traverse the lands of Tylea. And so, well, who else to help me decide what's best approach for the city, and most of all for the people, than those who have been known as the chosens of the Oracle, the heroes of the Heartlands. So, Suppose whenever you're ready, we shall begin discussions.
Well,
I will turn to the group. Are we prepared to hear out the king?
What choice do we have? We gotta get
Yes.
ready to storm stuff now.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right then. I guess.
Right.
Step up one.
It's good to know that you are decisive, if anything. Well, with the Oracle prophecy having sufficiently angered Sidon, this storm has befallen our city under the knowledge that you would arrive here eventually. I
Are
have
you?
taken time to discuss with my advisors the possibilities of solutions for this matter. Well, I suppose if we're going by an appropriate order, I shall give my own take on the matter. First of all, it has come to my attention that some impressive magics exist in the world. Magics that can, if I understood correctly, alter the very, well, nature of weather, even. I have heard of such powerful spells being used in the past before, and so, well, as ones who carry with themselves such a large reputation, I was wondering if you would be capable of such magics. If I understood the stories correctly, you have some casters amongst you, don't you?
1, 2, 3. Yep. Half of us.
We do.
Perfect!
Never mind, I forgot.
Then you certainly have the abilities to ward this foul weather away with your magics, don't you?
Do I does Metius know, like, if there's ever been magic that could do that? That could just ward against a god?
Roll me Arcana. Or History.
Where's my
Somebody roll for my character as well. Sorry, I'm not home, by the way.
hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I get control, I can.
Oh, you still have a control of Ignite? Alright, well, you can roll.
I don't have control, but
15.
if you give me that, I can do it.
15.
Good enough.
In that case, give me a second. I'll roll for you. So you got a 15 Exandry. Let's see. As soon as my zoo sheet
1d20.
on my end. But what I'll say is that with a 15, Metius, you believe you've heard of such spells. Specifically one spell that is a little bit out of your reach. Well, a lot out of your reach at the moment. It's a spell that doesn't particularly have such an inventive name for it. It's just called Controlled Weather, which does exactly as advertised. Will allow you to control the weather to a certain extent. You're not sure if that would be enough to quell a storm brought about by a literal titan, but at the very least, you believe that it could potentially help out. Exandri got a 21. Exandri, for in your
And
case,
you.
you've also heard of a similar spell, and you believe that, well, though yes, the storm has been brought about by by a titan. You're not quite sure if it's a sustained effect that that Sidon is constantly concentrating on, or if it's just a spell, weather brought about by similar effects to that spell that I just mentioned. And if it is indeed the latter, then a spell of similar level should be able to counteract it.
Okay.
So whether you two bring up
Like
this,
a counter spell?
oh, go ahead.
So like a counter spell?
Not in the traditional sense, but under the assumption that Sidon used a similar effect to that of the control weather spell, then another control weather spell should be able to dispel that effect.
Okay.
However, well, as you know yourself, you are not currently capable of casting such a spell.
5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is level
So
20.
we
Is
need to
there-
find someone to can.
Right.
I-
So I would probably, as respectfully as I can, address King Acastus and say, while such spells exist, they're currently not part of my repertoire. We may be able to find someone or something that can, but beyond that, I'm afraid at the moment I don't have the ability.
You see as King Acastus kind of rests one of his hands in his throne, kind of putting like the back of his fingers against his cheek in a in a very exaggerated gesture of disappointment and exasperation. He says, "I see. I thought if anybody would be capable of handling this, it would be all of you. You know, I did hear stories of earlier on in your career, so to speak. You slayed that boar in order to free the people of the Heartlands. Perhaps it should have been offered as a sacrifice to Sidon." As he says this, you see as Queen Valus very quickly does like this side glance to Akasus, almost as if saying, just like, "Shut the fuck up," like you know what you're talking about, type of thing. Uh, she doesn't, however, say anything out loud, but her looks more or less say everything you needed to hear. Acastus at this point says, "Well, I suppose that's one option out of the way." And he looks over at Commander Gaius. He says, "Gaius, I believe you had something to say." At this point, Gaius takes a step forward and says, "Well, Your Highness, as I explained multiple times before, this tempest that has been brought about on your city has been done so because of hubris. Hubris brought about by the adoration of this false five gods.
Mhm.
Not only that, but the presence of these puppets of the Oracle has done you no favors. So I would suggest once again what I said back then. Dismantle, destroy the Temple of the Five in Mitros. Smash every single stone to dust. That should be enough to quell the wrath of my lord." Uh, Valus,
He's just mad I'm going out with his daughter.
Valus immediately says, "And as I've told you before, Commander Gaius, that is not an option that I would consider." And she kind of looks over at you guys, almost as if waiting for you guys to chime in on this option.
I'd say probably not that one.
Hardcore glaring at Gaius.
Look, he's only mad because I'm with his daughter, okay? Not see, he nearly almost killed us all just by us walking closest to this
That's
palace.
How about we
This
offer
is
Derek a
Derek.
sacrifice?
No,
I
we're
bet
not offering myself. God dang it!
please
No,
Castus,
no, off the table, off the goddamn table.
or because you said this out loud, Derek, Acastus is going to look over at you and say, "Wait, so you mean to tell me that you have engaged in romantic relationships with one of Sidon's offspring, and
Uh-oh.
that's the reason why the storm has hit my city?"
A little
Oh,
less
God.
than romantic. More like she trapped me in there and then made me do things. But then I liked it later
Don't
on.
let him lie. Don't let him
Alright.
lie.
But the bottom line is that you believe that it's because you've incurred the wrath of Sidon. That is the reason why this storm has placated my city. At this point, you see
I
as
mean,
the guards around the throne room all just kind of like look at each other, like with shifty eyes, as if saying, are we going to do something about it?"
Okay,
I'm sorry,
if your
King.
daughter,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but no offense. If Sidon was mad at our group, they would have attacked Astoria, and he's attacking Mitros, which we've had nothing to do with anything you guys might have done to piss him off. We just came here to assist you. Um, if he's always known that we have been in Astoria, so if he personally wanted to attack our group, he would literally attack Astoria.
Uh,
It's not like he doesn't know we're there.
to your fucking surprise, Gaius actually nods in agreement with what you're saying. Uh, Gaius says, "Rude as it may, the brat's words are true. The web's relationship with one of Sidon's offspring is not of concern to him. What is of concern is the constant praise of false deities.
Hmm.
Uh, Valus says, if you were any other person, Commander Gaius, I would have had you escorted out of this room for such words. But I've already made it a point that anyone is free to speak their mind. Uh, Gaius doesn't
Free
even.
to speak. I did. Around to the fact that Gaius has tried to kill us 3 times now, and he's standing in the same room as us. I look to my group because I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I guess you weren't here last session. Well, you were here towards the end of last session. Um, so basically, you guys are having an audience with King Acastus. Two of his advisors are Commander Gaius and a tiefling known as Chandrus, who is a priest of Lutheria. Uh, so yeah, that's happening. Uh, so he's but you guys because he's technically an advisor to King Acastus. Uh, so with that being said, uh, Gaius,
I mean, if anything,
go ahead.
for all we know, Sidon could just be pissed off at Gaius because he's failed to kill us 3 times in a row.
I mean,
I mean, he would probably smite Gaius then, and not just an entire city. So Gaius does take a step back, after he's done speaking his mind. You will see as Kyra kind of walks up to some of you and begins to whisper, "Look, I'm not quite up for the idea that Gaius over there is suggesting, even though he is being very scary about it. But, well, if anything else fails, I wouldn't be entirely against the idea of the temple being destroyed. Yes, that will make people lose some faith in us, but I think I'm with my sister here. If it helps the city, then it has to be done, right?"
Hmm.
I wonder if there's.
Another way?
Uh,
You were about to
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Chandros is the one that actually finishes that thought of yours. The tiefling young man over on the side. Uh, he says, "Well, my simple-minded friend, there is of course one other way that this can be resolved. It seems many people here have failed to determine that quelling the wrath of Lord Sidon has multiple approaches, not the least of which is the intervention of behalf of his other half. Lady Lutheria, of course, I'm speaking of. See, I am willing to admit that, though of course the city of Mitros and the citizens beyond its walls have had their unfair run-ins with those of my faith, Lutheria is, if anything, a being that understands all sorts of emotions. And I am willing to admit, and I'm willing to believe that she, if anyone, is able to calm the wrath of Sidon. In return, as a representative of the faith of the Church of Lutheria, I ask merely for a simple favor. Think of this as a youth program of sorts. If you were to be willing to have some of the youth of the city to take up the black robes and dedicate themselves to the Church of Lutheria, then the Lady of
Uh,
Wolves will no doubt quell the anger of the Lord of Storms. Do not worry for a moment. The youth will be treated well. They will be treated to the finest of foods and the sweetest of drinks.
I'm gonna have to doubt that one.
Do you doubt Chandra's words?
We're gonna insight check that. I don't believe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trust people with horns
Wait,
better than
so
me.
who said that?
Chandra's,
Jordros.
the
He's
tiefling individual.
Also, it's like because I don't know who that is.
Well, he was introduced as
I
a
feel like he's lying about the.
I
I feel like they're gonna
I
be
know he's
sacrificed.
the kind of like Gaius for the king, but I still don't. That doesn't mean I know who he is.
All right. Well, yeah, this is actually your first time, interacting with him. Uh, all right. Well, do you want to roll your insight, Henry?
Yeah, but I can't. I'm on my phone.
Yes. In that case, give me one moment. As soon as your character sheet loads, I'll roll your insight for you.
Thank you, thank you.
And that was a natural 20. Uh,
Dang.
Holy!
yeah.
Why do I roll above a 10 when it's not me playing?
Uh, if anything, both Drakgar and Exandri, you guys figure out it sounds a little bit too good to be true. Knowing what you know about those who follow Lutheria's faith, something doesn't quite fit in this, in this offer that Chandras is given.
With all due respect, that will not be what we're doing. As long as your people keep being unfaithful, I'm speaking directly to the king, not the two idiots to our side.
Ew.
Unfortunately, Gaius has tried killing us 3 times, and as well as we have come across quite a few findings of our own when it comes to Lutheria and what Exandria would use his name, but Cassie can't remember it. Has just stated there is a bunch of unhidden facts in which he is proclaiming.
You know how wizards have like staffs and stuff to help them cast spells? Is there one that could do that for to help get rid of the storm?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, you know how I'm kind of trying to I'll explain this out game, but you know how there's like the crystal staff from from or whatever, like staff of magic missile will allow you to cast magic missile. Is there a way to like one to do that for the weather storm? I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to ask.
Make me.
Cassie has a question out of game after that.
Well, first of all, Drakgar, make me a history check. And what is your question, Alexandri?
Mother.
Alexandri, what is your question? No, well, to answer your query, Drakgar, you are not sure.
Not
If
lucky.
with a 4, you think, something like that. If, well, you don't know of anything off the top of your head, you think it is not out of the realm of possibility for something like that to happen. Considering you've ran into your first share of magic items that can do some form of innate casting of sorts. But you wouldn't know of one specifically that could affect the weather. Well, at least you don't remember any.
Dang it.
Hmm.
So,
So yeah.
what's it called? So when Chandras notices that that his petition is being denied, he just kind of shrugs, in a very almost like casual manner, and says, "Well, believe what you will. I was merely offering an alternative, as it does sound that you're all banging your heads against the wall, as it were. No offense, of course, Your Majesty. I believe you're doing everything you can with what you have at hand. And, if anything, once all of these discussions are done, I will appreciate the feedback of this, heroes that you have brought upon the council." Chandras kind of looks at you guys, and you, well, Metius, you specifically, you feel that his eyes linger on you for a couple more seconds longer than they do on everybody else in the party.
Right. Okay.
We literally keep
Sausage.
forgetting to investigate that. God damn.
Sausage.
Uh, so, uh, once he's done speaking his piece, you kind of see, like, way at the back, how the woman who you presume to be King Cassius's concubine, kind of just very lazily lifts her hand up while still laying on the almost like couch-like furniture that she's currently laying on. Again, no decorum, no formalities. She is acting as casual as can be in this rather serious, audience or meeting. That's her, by the way. Uh, so, you will see that she kind of lifts her hand and says, I have something to suggest." Valus is very quick to scoff at that notion, but Acastus does a weird gesture with his hand, almost as if saying, "Fine, go ahead." She continues speaking, saying, "Why don't we just do what we usually do? Sacrificing oxen and the like. That seems to always work, right? Obviously, this is
No.
a bit of more of a bigger scale thing. So instead of the usual 5, how about like 100?
Oh,
You
it's a lot of food, but we can make food out of that. Never mind.
guys have enough to sacrifice them if needed?
Acastus kind of thinks for a moment.
Sausage.
We could also contact my dad because we gather a bunch of oxen as well. And we just never use them.
Yeah.
Kyra looks over at you, Exandria, and kind of whispers, "I mean, that's true, but like, do you really think Pythor is going to just give the Astorian oxen to Acastus? I don't know. Your father's many things, but I'm not sure if he's willing to give away so many. Don't forget, he did say that was
He's
over."
not going to get like that, but we could probably borrow 25.
"I'm afraid that's still not enough," she says with a very concerned
Oh,
expression on her face.
75 could come from my throat.
Acastus kind of, has taken like a hand to his chin and is in deep thought. And he says, 100 oxen? That would be quite the amount of gold worth in their weight alone. Certainly quite too much. Perhaps the royal treasury is not able to afford. Not only that, but the loss of such many will certainly put a hamper on all of the villagers who have worked hard to raise this cattle. It is an option, I suppose, but not one that I believe would be feasible in such a short notice. At this point, you hear Valus take like this exasperated sigh, as if she's just done with everybody in this room. Uh, she very suddenly almost kind of stands up from her own throne. And takes a couple of steps forward, almost as if not addressing the room in general, but addressing you guys directly. And she says, "Heroes of the prophecy, once again I greet you. I am, as you know, Valus, one of the 5 gods, and for centuries the people of Mitros have revered me. Many mortals even traveled across the Cerulean Gulf seeking for my counsel. But as you can see, my husband would rather consult with fools and concubines." She kind of gestures to, when she says fools, she gestures to Chandras and Gaius. And when she says concubines, obviously she gestures back at Bella, who just more or less answers with a very matter of fact, like shrug, almost as if saying, "Whatever, bitch." And uh, Ballas continues speaking, again addressing more or less you specifically. She says, "We gods are capable of many things, and saving the city is of course one of them. Joined together, the 4 of us can weave a spell to counter Siren's magic. However, such a miracle would require a sacrifice of our power. I am of course willing to do what must be done to protect my city, but others may need to be persuaded." She does kind of side-eye Kyra for a moment there when she says that. "I have summoned the remaining of the gods to Mitros ahead of time, so that you may speak with them and make them see reason. You are, after all, the oracle's chosen. They will heed your words. This is not an action that we take lightly. Countering the actions of the Lord of Storms will, in a sense, constitute as a breach of the Oath of Peace. This will take away a fraction of our powers, almost permanently, I'm afraid. But it's a sacrifice that I am willing to make."
So we got to either sacrifice 100 oxen, give away some kids to a cult, or lose power, have them give up their power or destroy a building.
Well, in order of what I like would be oxen, unfortunately temple, and I'm definitely against the kids.
Yeah.
We do need to. I mean, Mitros is home to the greatest academies and I think the greatest libraries in all of the lands. We need to do some research first if we can access these kinds of things. There has to be something that we're not seeing before we jump to any of the presented solutions.
You hear Acastus speak up at that. He says, "The city is flooding as we speak, and you wish to delve your time in looking into books instead of taking action."
It has been a boon to us before. We have been set on a timer in almost, I would say, everything that we've had to do so far. I mean, we were able to solve the issues in Astoria simply by gaining knowledge. It won't take us that long.
Acastus is kind of looking at you with this expression in his face, almost as if he doesn't quite buy what you're saying.
Right.
Balus looks over at you, Metius, and says, In any other situation, I would agree with you, young Metius. But sadly, time is of the essence. The longer we wait, the more this city is placated by the wrath of this storm. The lower districts will become flooded in a matter of time. And the evacuations are being held, we cannot evacuate everybody in enough time. Lives may be lost. A decision must be reached, and it must be reached soon.
Can Xandri ask to be excused just for a brief second from this chamber?
Uh, oh,
She getting too pissed.
how would you go about asking this?
She's going to be like, I know this is going to be really bad timing, and I do apologize, but make the lady please use the restroom. She's been holding it for about some time now.
Uh,
Just tell your aunt to go to the bathroom.
Acastus looks up at you and he almost says like, okay, I guess. And he does like a gesture to one of the guards and says, please escort her. And
Thank you. I do apologize.
one of the guards just kind of walks up to you, Exandri, and says, "This way."
Thank you. And she'll follow him.
You walk past, Gaius. You have to go actually towards one of the hallways on the side.
As she keeps walking.
He doesn't even like verbally react to you in any in a particular way. Again, Gaius is a very sort of like single-minded individual. He doesn't really seem to answer your perhaps attempt at provocation.
I just called him a bitch.
Oof. Does the temple have anything special, or is there like a specific reason why they want that temple destroyed,
Because
or why you guys want that temple destroyed,
are you asking this of Gaius?
or yeah, specifically, or Kyra, if it's worth saving, or
Kyra will say, well, it is the only and biggest temple of the five around most of Taglia, actually. It serves as well, I guess you could say a nexus of sorts for the believers around the land. Sorry about that. I almost choked for a moment there. I was,
Uh-oh.
I was trying to drink before that line. Apologies. Kyra will say, well, that. And almost as if giving a similar answer, Guy will look at you, Drakgar, and say, it is a temple that has been raised to praise deities that are clearly in over their heads. Lord of Storms is the one and only figure that should be considered in this situation. Of course, I need not remind you, of all people, in fact, all of you, about your current situation. And the situation indeed placates the land itself.
Well, I don't think it'd probably be a good idea to weaken the Five Gods' power. So we might need to have the temple destroyed. What do you guys think?
Well, you will be destroying a temple of the five gods. That's what Gaius is saying.
Yeah. I don't know if them losing power might be a bad idea, but I don't know.
I think that Metius would sort of just generally ask the question, why to the court. Why, and kind of specifically, almost somewhat directed more towards Gaius. Why is this allowed? Why is Sidon allowed to drown an entire village or an entire city, especially one so large, and affect so many people without it breaking any kind of oaths or anything? This is why is he allowed to hold this city hostage and make demands like this?
It is not a hostage situation, as you call it. It is punishment for the hubris of these people. Their hubris brought about by constant time of, well, complacency. Brought about by their over-reliance on these 5 beings who would call themselves deities. It is
So
punishment, plain and simple. But one that my lord is, well, willing to let go of.
Whenever Exandria also gets to the loo, she's got some spells to cast.
Okay.
Oh no.
You just led over to one of the washrooms, and the fucking guard just lets you there.
Are they like far enough away that I could like talk hushly and not be overheard?
I mean, I would imagine that considering how the general structure of these types of palaces tend to go, they would probably be quite a distance.
All right. She's gonna cast Sending on Versi, the prophet.
Okay.
She's gonna kill you. Oh, never mind.
It's gonna be Versailles need help. How to stop Sidon from destroying Mitros? We could use some guidance, and that's just enough words.
You will get back a sending, the response rather of Versi, saying, "I shall see what I can do. I'll contact you later on once I've divined the result."
Little XD later.
oh, nice. That's actually really good.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna hold my second Sending. I'm not gonna use it. I'm going to smile and think of her and say the word thank yous and hoping that it might reach her. And then I will wash my hands. I'll actually use blue, wash my hands, and then return back to the dungeon.
Well, not done.
I mean, not the dungeon, the chamber.
The castle. Yeah, it's palace.
Dungeon.
All right. So eventually you'll come back. During that time, however, that it takes you to be there, using the excuse, to do the standing. The rest of you, well, Castus, Chandra's and Gaius and Valos, and even Vela, have given their takes on the matter. You do see that as Valos goes back to her own throne, Acastus looks over at you and says, "Well, after having heard every side of the conversation, what wisdom do the heroes of the of the Heartlands have to give to us?"
If I may,
Hold on, you're just
I
about
asked. Oh,
you're just about to come back at this point.
okay.
Well, we should. If you wish to ask all of us heroes, then I suppose we should wait to completely collect our group, make the proper deliberations, and I will kind of look around, just waiting for Exandria to get back.
Okay. Eventually, if that's the case, if you're just waiting around, and eventually Xander will come back.
Oh my god, cat.
the guard still escorting her over to the to the main sort of like platform of the throne room where you guys have been standing.
And then when I return, I actually have a smile on my face. I don't look too worried.
Oh god.
1 second. Let me go in my house.
Okay.
I don't like that smile on her face. Says Derek.
Uh-oh.
It feels like Derek knows what happened.
What?
He knows nothing of what I just said. You don't even know what spells I have, sir. No metagame.
He smiles like, wait a minute. I have a feeling something might not be right here. His Derek's senses tingling.
He's kind of being like, I have returned. What did I miss? I do apologize.
We are deliberating on what to do about. We're weighing the options, and I thought it would be good for all of us to be here for that.
Oh, thank you. As Cassie logs on to laptop. King Acostus.
Yes, you may speak.
Get off the computer.
How long do you think your city can hold out?
He kind of leans over a little bit and says, well, when you start a sentence like that, it makes it seem like you're going to be disappearing for a moment.
No, not disappearing. I just want to make sure we are not rushing into this, and that all options have been ran through, seen as most of these options have themselves spun from people who very specifically worship Sidon, which makes this whole conversation just a little bit biased, as both of your second-hand she'll gesture over to Gaia, so the other one whose name I still have yet to hear because I was walking home.
Chandra.
Chandler?
Chandra.
Here, I'll just type it in the chat. You know, like big chunk of like.
Are you saying Chonky and Gaius? What?
He does like actually when you say, "Oh, seeing as these guys both preside," Chandra's just kind of raises his hand and says, "Please, do not misunderstand my position here. I serve the Lady of Dreams herself."
Okay, what are we doing, guys? I don't know what we're doing.
So continue what you were saying. What were you saying?
I just want to make sure we go over the best case scenario. I don't want to destroy the temples. That would be a poor image and a major power game for Sidon. But if that needs to be the route that we take, then obviously that could be the route that we take, even though I'm still willing to do the Ox as well. But I have a little faith in someone, and I just need a little bit of time to contact them and see what will be going on, and if there will be another way about this scenario. I do not know about my comrades, but I personally just do not appreciate the fact that there are people in this very chamber, as I've said numerous times now, who have actually actively been trying to kill us since we've received our prophet. And taking any sort of command, notion, request at all from them seems very biased in the in the direction of Sidon. I wasn't ready to read that. And Although our group has been branching out our knowledge and learning about all sides in this war that has raged long ago, we are doing our best to not be completely biased. My father has faults.
Not so.
The Dragonlords had way too many faults,
Hey, cool.
just as Sidon has faults, just as even you, King Acosta, and our group has faults.
He does kind of raise an eyebrow at that, but let's you continue.
Me too.
And by faults, if you're curious, that is having your guys follow us and spy on us instead of just sending word to us.
That sounds like
Yeah,
a very bold claim. I take it you have proof of this?
we have proof. I know we have
We
proof.
have a letter.
Yeah, we do have proof. We have lettered and stamped and sealed with his stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spit out, guys.
Like the letter you guys found is not doesn't have any official sealing or signatures in it. It just has his name.
Well, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck.
On our journeys, we have come across spies from Mitros who have carried parchments with notions that you yourself have asked them to spy on us and figure out our whereabouts and what we are doing and to report back to you.
Could you perhaps show me this proof that you speak of?
Sure. I've already showed it to my father, so even if you keep it, that is no quarrel of mine. She'll go hand it over to him.
Well, well, you know you wouldn't be allowed to get that close to the king because
Or I'll hand it to whoever is close to walk it over to him, if as long as it's not Gaius.
there's a couple of guards that stand there at the ready, but like
I'll do it.
you pass over
I
the
hand it to the
note.
guard.
You pass over the note to one of the guards, and he just kind of, without really looking at it, just kind of walks up to King Acastus and hands it over. Acastus takes a look at it and just kind of looks at it, raises an eyebrow, and says, "An interesting forgery. We shall look into these matters at a later moment." He
Mhm.
hands the letter back to
Mhm.
the guard and seems to gesture in
I should.
him to go off to another segment. He just kind of walks past the rest of the people, and you see the guard eventually make his way out of the throne room.
Definitely gonna burn it, guys.
That's fine. We've already showed my father, so he knows. So I mean, like I said, if we don't get it back, it's no big deal. Plus, if somebody is forging King Acosta's orders, they need to be dealt with. That's not good.
Can I insight check him, see if he's lying about it being forged or whatever?
Yeah, same.
You can try. There you
Just
go.
gonna look
Like,
at him.
get the fuck out of the key. When I don't even know where my sheet is. Where is this? What is this? What is roll 20?
There
The
was
cat.
there was a couple of recent updates in the last couple of weeks, so things may be a little bit different over an order. Yeah, they're not sure. He seems legit about that being a forgery.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the very least, his words, the way everything was sort of like made to sound, it does kind of seem like he was being somewhat, you know, the tone of voice seemed like he was being somewhat legit. So With your words being spoken, Acasto says, "So, with all of that being said, what is it that you suggest? I will tell you right now, as I mentioned before, the cattle option will take away quite a bit of, well, not just livestock, but also resources from Mitros. It will plunge us in a bit of a tough situation. This will mean that certain, well, compromises will need to be done with the population. Sacrificing such an amount of cattle will mean that there will need to be, well, extra manpower, so to speak, to make up for the loss. There is a bit of a reaction, you see, when he says that, specifically from Valis, as if she seems to know what he's alluding to, even though he kind of leaves it a little bit vague. In fact, uh, Juno, what is your passive perception again?
Uh,
Is Juno here? Mitch?
yeah, his mic's
It's
muted, I think.
14. His should be 14, I believe.
Oh, sorry, I'm here. Yeah.
Yes.
What was that?
What was your passive?
Your passive perception. I'll get it right now if you.
I think it's 14, but I can double check real quick.
That's enough.
Because I think he's one ahead of me.
Juno, for a moment, isn't that sort of like fraction of a second?
It's actually 13, sorry. But yes.
Well, that still would be enough. It's actually during that fraction of a second where he makes the comment of the manpower would need to be made up elsewhere. And Baus is almost not really visceral, but noticeable reaction that for half a second you feel that his eyes glance over at you, Juno.
Oh no.
But then he very quickly looks, his eyes stop focusing and he seems to just kind of in general be looking at the rest of the party.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
Chandras is kind of cute.
You know what? That's the exact reaction somebody in the other group had.
Huh?
I just now scrolled down to see where our party was. I just logged on. Give me a break.
That's the
Huh?
reaction that somebody in the other group had.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
he is. It's true.
Huh? Who?
Andres, the tiefling.
Chandra's not that bad looking, guys.
Pretty cute, yeah.
Let's zoom in on
Oh,
face real quick. There we go.
I like his eye makeup or whatever.
oh
Hell
my
yeah.
god. It's like a kiss
That's what
metal.
I was thinking. It's like give him like the kiss vibes.
Oh yeah, like he's a rock star or something.
Yeah. He's
Huh?
gonna pull out a guitar and start doing a solo here soon.
Pretty
Not a
cute.
bard. Can't do it. Better than him. Wrecked.
Jealous.
So,
If I heard years
so
affected.
what is it gonna be, y'all? I'm asking y'all out of character. What's the
I'm gonna ask King Acostus if it is possible to gather more of the city citizens towards the inner portions of the city, and if he would give us 24 hours to deliberate.
He raises an eyebrow and says, "As far as the evacuation efforts are being handled, well, Captain Tarkin, who had just departed from his from this palace, is actually handling part of them. As for a day of deliberation, that will bring about some consequence. I hope you understand that. I care about my people. I care about my city. I call upon you because I heard that your wisdom, well, exceeded that of the average person around all of Tylea. In fact, according to the stories, it seems to exceed even beyond even notable individuals. Perhaps not anything compared to my lovely wife." He kind of looks over at Valos, but Valos merely answers back with like a look of blink and you miss it, disgust for a moment.
I see where Sandra gets
I
it from
love
now.
her.
You're definitely family
She's
now.
definitely family.
But notable not.
What a question: would Derek have like anything important to do with the temple?
What do you mean?
Like, is it any important to Derek? Like, was Derek there when they created it? Remember?
Not even sure if you would have been there. This would have happened like quite a couple of years after the First War.
And then Derek wouldn't care. Then destroy it, I say. I'm the one. I'm not bad guy.
Castus will say, I hope you understand. The more it takes for the council to reach a decision, the more severe the consequences for the citizens will be.
Guys, if we destroy it, it'll be fine. It's nothing worth. It's not worth me saving anything over.
If you truly believe that,
Derek,
if you truly believe that this decision will take you that long to come,
it might not. The decision might not take that long. I'll do my best to have it to you before the end of the day.
And flip.
perhaps it can be arranged. But know this. It kind of points almost like an accusatory finger on all of you. We shall keep an eye on you so long as you're in this city. For many people here trust you with their lives. And I hope you will not disappoint.
Well, we'll never try to.
Now,
Porunga, why are you bleeding? Heal.
well, not bleeding, but a little bit charred. You notice Porunga and Drakgar to a certain extent are a little bit like burned around the sides, almost as if almost
Against
almost,
Dido.
almost as if a lightning fell on them.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
I got struck by lightning by loser Didon.
Valus.
King Costas,
Okay.
do you prefer us that we stay in the palace? Are we allowed to go back into town? Do we stay in a tavern?
We return to the
Which soldiers will be escorting us around the town so we could start doing stuff like
You may return to town if you wish, though I would struggle to think that any place of note is open considering the climate. You do hear Valus speak up once again and says, Pythor and Vulcan should not be long to arrive here at the city. Once they're here,
Oh my god.
I shall gather them at the Temple of the Five. If you can,
when that happens, can you maybe send a soldier to come collect us?
I have my ways of alerting you.
Alright, thanks. We're gonna go in the town and make sure if there's anything we could do to help, then we could do so while we go over the very unfair situation at hand. If you don't mind.
She, with a more, not really demanding, but more imposing tone of voice, will say, like I said, I am willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to save the city and its people.
Well, we want to save the people too, but if there's a hidden option.
My mind is made up. If you truly need this time to deliver it, then I await your answer at the Temple of the Five.
Alright, thank you.
Uh,
And then I'm gonna smile and wave and be like, I wish I could give you a hug. It's very nice to meet you.
Do it like the controls are gonna kill you.
you see as Castus kind of takes like this very disappointed long sigh. I suppose it takes quite some time for heroes of legend to make up their mind. Right then, if it's a day you need to deliberate, and a day you shall have. But you better reach a conclusion by then.
We will. Alright, guys, let's go. Oh, wait. Who's escorting us? Who's coming with?
You
So
just
you,
you
blue guy?
see a couple of guards kind of take a couple of steps forward. Now, Please be on your way. Take some time. Find a place where you can gather your thoughts. As for you two, kind of looks over at Gaius and Chandras. Return to your respective temples. You shall be summoned again when you're needed. Gaius does like a military salute of sorts to King Acastus, while Chandras makes a rather exaggerated sort of like reverence, bow towards him.
He's great.
Stare.
In that case, I shall take my leave, and please do make sure to summon me post haste when you reach a conclusion. He kind of looks over at you guys and says,
Stare.
I do so eagerly await to hear what brilliant plan your minds can conjure up. It shall be interesting, to say the least.
Stare.
Gaius doesn't say too much. He just, after doing the salute, he just says, in that case, call upon me when I'm needed once again. I will return to the temple. Perhaps by then you're able to see the folly of your plans. And you see as Gaius just kind of walks with like a very proper sort of like stiff motion in his body as he tends to do. Whereas Chandra's just with his arms kind of behind his back, just does a very a very sort of like casual walk out the palace. While he passes by you guys, he does kind of like eye you guys, a little bit, almost raising an eyebrow in an expression that seems to indicate that he's perhaps trying to seize you guys up or, like analyze you in some way, shape, or form. Eventually,
I rolled to intimidate.
I mean, you can try. Eventually, him.
I'm gonna roll to intimidate. You.
Like, how do you
Let me go.
intimidate Chandras? How do you try to intimidate Chandras?
I just stare back.
Uh,
Stare like I would stare at Gaius.
Animate that stare.
would say that wouldn't.
That stare.
No, don't do that.
Just staring at him probably wouldn't be enough to shake him off his feet. Like,
I'm gonna stare at him.
yeah, nah.
That-
I'll be like, I'll tap
stare.
Derek on his shoulder. Nice try, Derek. Good.
I'm trying to be a big boy here.
Good try.
After a couple of seconds of Gaius and Chandras leaving, the other guards kind of approach you guys to escort you guys out the palace. Kyra looks over at you guys before the guards arrive and says, "Right, I don't know what you guys are planning here, but you should."
I spoke the verses. I'm waiting for her to talk back to me. And then that's it.
Well, her rituals take a while. She will probably answer to you by the time we're already out the palace. So, here's the thing. I know what my sister said, and trust me, I feel for her situation. If worse comes to worse, I am willing to participate in the same, well, whatever it is that she's planning for us gods to do. I suppose I'll be back at the temple. I'll meet you guys there whenever you're ready. Hopefully by then, Fighter and Volk and Dad are there as well. Now, be sure to continue your way and don't get too intimidated by what's happening here. You guys are better than this.
Stare.
No worries. Guys, but can we go into the city and talk, please, with our two guards? I want to at least try and make sure if we can do anything to help the citizens, like we get a leg up on that.
Certainly.
Let's get head out.
Two birds, one stone, talk and work same time. The usual.
Let's watch the Thunderbolts, guys.
You guys will be escorted out the palace by the guards. Eventually, they just more or less, sorry, they more or less escort you guys to the main gates of the palace, and after that they just kind of let you be, because again the storm is raging outside. So it is, they kind of have to just very quickly close the gates so as to prevent them from being like hit too hard by the wind or storms or the like. But yes, you are eventually dragged all the way back to the Warriors.
But we're by ourselves now, right?
You would be by yourselves. In fact, it is around the time where you
All right.
exit before you exit the palace gates, that you will receive a message, a sending message from Versi. More or less, well, it's kind of a bit of a cryptic message because you can tell she's trying to fit as much information as she can in the limited amount of words that the spell allows for. It seems just the general gist of the setting, however, seems to be something along the lines of, I've seen it. Your options will reach the same result either way, but be careful what you do.
No matter what we choose, I would never know.
Again, a bit of a cryptic message, but she's trying to boil down all of the information she gathered into just a very few amount of words.
Huh.
So, now that you're out in the fucking cold and, like windy
Rain.
and rainy city of Mattress, what do you do?
We run as we can into a tavern or something before we get struck by lightning.
I mean, well, I did give you guys a map of the city in the journal. You can more or less tell the notable locations there. What's it called? There is the closest, I guess, location that would be able to house you, I guess, is the Temple of the Five. That is not too far away from the Palace District. In fact, it is just over a bit of a walk, hop and a skip away from you. But if you wish to take another place to discuss your, your plans, then you are welcome to do so, or at least try.
We're by the temple of the. I'm just trying to find where we're at on the map. We're
While people's walking, though, can I send a message back? I mean, a sending back to Versi.
Okay.
Versailles.
What is this?
Destroy temple outcome on my family. Will it be bad or manageable? Thank you. Versailles. Because I had one leftover word I could say.
She will respond. They will surrender a portion of their divine spark. It will weaken them, but it will save the city.
Damn. I let the group know that.
Huh.
yeah. Kind
And
of
so
I think it might be a bad idea to do that one.
What was the other option? Because I myself out of game still don't understand what the second option was.
Sacrifice some kids.
What?
Sacrifice some oxen.
Nobody said sacrifice. Nobody said sacrifice of kids.
Okay.
Huh?
I kind of
Drakgar,
that is
goddammit.
okay. They go to
Option
the Lady of Death.
Yeah.
But
Option one is Akasa suggested the use of some high-level fucking magic, the likes of which you guys don't have access just yet, but perhaps you could find somebody who does, which is a shot because you don't really know where to start. Option two is you smash the Temple of Five. This will cause the gods to lose a portion of their power and influence in the world. But it will quell the wrath of Sidon one way or another. Option three is to hand over a certain amount of youth from the city to the cult of Lutheria to kind of initiate them into following the teachings of Lutheria. Chandros believes that through this, Lutheria herself will be able to placate the anger of Sidon. Option four is the sacrificing of cattle. This will, however, put a damper on the economy of Mitros, meaning that they will have to make up for that in some other manner. What that matter is, Acasus never said out loud, but you can gather is probably not something that you want to happen. And option
got a feeling what's gonna happen.
And option four is that the gods just perform a miracle. They weave they will, they would weave magic to counter the influence of Sidon in this region, which theoretically will be a breach in a sense to the pact of non-aggression that they have, which still means that they will lose a portion of their power. Uh, but that, but in this case, the temple is not destroyed, and if anything, this may actually, in fact, bolster the belief of the people in the five gods.
So if they have to lose a portion of their power, she's talking to her comrades. If two options come down to the five gods losing a portion of their power, doesn't it make more sense if they would lose a portion of their power and sacrificing a bit of it to save the city? Versus because that could restore some faith in them even further from I love that. Um, from the citizens, whereas if they destroy the temple, not only will they lose a portion of their power, they also lose a great deal of their faith, which
So
would
they lose their
even
power.
further.
So they'll lose their power anyways if the temple is destroyed.
But they're just
They
losing a fraction of it, right?
they lose a fraction of their power if they destroy the temple, but so it's a negative and a negative because they lose a fraction of their power and they lose a huge fraction of their faithful followers for Mitros because they were unable to stop Sidon. But if they could sacrifice a portion of their power to perform some type of miracle for the city, it's a negative and a positive because that would further boost their faith from the citizens in not falling over to Sidon out of fear. So if they, in a sense, if by the end of the day they have to lose a portion of their power, the miracle sounds best.
That is true.
The oxen, although honestly that's my pick. It just sounds like King Acastus doesn't have the power or the ability to keep his city safe long enough for that to come about, and that it would be too great of a tragedy for him to figure out how to feed his city until more oxen can be born and raised.
Hey,
Yeah.
Drakgar, why don't you tell the party the conclusion that you found?
What?
You back then, well, and I don't know if it was an out of character or in character reaction, but it sounded like you figured what the intent behind Akas's words were when he said the manpower would need to be made up for elsewhere.
Well,
Go
are you talking
ahead.
about when he was
My
looking at
brain just
Juno?
exploded,
Is
but
that
go
what you're
ahead.
talking about?
That is what.
Or are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was sounding like he was trying to sacrifice Minotaurs in order to, including Juno, in order to help with the.
Either
thing,
that
but
or
I don't
work
think
You
he'll
along.
use it.
sacrifice. You keep saying sacrifice,
It's
like
for the better cause. No, I'm just joking.
Juno, no, Juno. I got.
it
Can
just heats himself into a volcano.
Can Derek come tell Juno something, tell the group something because he remembers stuff now from the exchange with Hercules. I'm sorry for
Theracles?
Hercules. Theracles.
Theracles.
Very
My boy Theracles.
Call him Hercules. He sounds more closer to that.
It is Hercules with a T at the front of it, goofball.
Okay, so can Derek talk about that? What he learned from Theracles.
Would you I guess, would you bring it up during the conversation? That's up to you.
Yes, I would go to Juno, grab him by his shoulder, but like, guys, I got some guys to tell you. And Metius, I'm pretty sure has something else to tell you. Looks at him as well. The reason why he said that and about sacrifices, and looks at Juno because there is a Minotaur market here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and and I'm guessing when he looked at Juno, thinking about sacrificing Minotaurs here. Something Metius would know, right, Metius?
How much does Metius know about
But
the
Well,
Minotaur market?
you are my Trojan, right?
Yes.
Well, you would know that not only is it a thing, but it's a very prevalent business in Mythros. One that for ages Queen Valos has tried to overturn, but due to Akasis' support from the public, like public
Mhm.
opinion, he seems to just never get rid of the market. As far as Akasis is concerned, that thing stays.
Metius is part of the bad guy.
You would also know, again being my Trojan, that the Minotaur market is a place where a lot of merchants, whether they say it publicly or not, have some form of investment one way or another in it. So it is, for worse, a part of the Trojan economy to a certain extent.
Okay.
Metius.
And they're like what exactly are they doing there? Like what?
It's a slave.
Slaves.
Yeah, it's a slave market
But
of
it,
Minotaurs.
yeah.
yeah, but like there's not it's not like it's is it just Minotaur that are being enslaved, or is it sort of like a beast race thing?
No, it's called Minotaur market because that's primarily what they do.
Okay.
I guess to give you a little bit more of an insight, and again, this will be knowledge to people in Mitros. It's not just you walk in, you pay, and you are given a Minotaur. In some cases, for an additional fee, the Minotaur is then forced to make an oath of service to the person that they are being, bought. That is buying them rather, which more or less is like an insurance policy to make sure that they don't betray you.
Right.
See, I'm not the bad guy here, too, guys. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
He's the bad guy
hear me
here.
out. Hear me out. So when King Acostas did his little, and you picked that up, which by the way, great job. She'll give her brother a high five because that's the last person she expected to catch something from King Acosta. In great
I give
details
a high
like
five.
that. She'll be like, so like sacrifice as in like we're sacrificing them to sign on instead of oxen, or asking them to help round up the oxen to sacrifice. Two completely
Second
different things.
It sounded like
Well,
they were. Oh, sorry.
Drakgar, I'll allow you to make it like a retroactive insight check to see if you can figure out the true intent.
Give me a good roll, please.
Come
on.
2.
With an 11, you're more or less certain that it was less about sacrificing the Minotaurs, but more so that if the oxen route is taken, because that will be a blow to the Mitrosian economy, they will have to make up for it by pushing the Minotaur market more, which
Okay.
will in turn mean more slavery.
It's just also bad guy.
Well, it could. Yeah, basically that. I'll say that.
Okay. Hear me out. Oh gosh, I wish we would have known all this before we started heading here.
Let me real. I mean, what's
I
his face
knew I
also
should
kind
have sent. I knew I should have sent Theracles a message before we left the city, so we could have had 2 days of prep.
There's some things I remember she told me, but I forgot.
Okay, so hear me out.
Reach.
We could also ask the centaurs for help.
We could.
What do you mean? Like, how would they help us?
Maybe we could come up with a trade with the centaurs. A form of trade. They could bring in game, larger game to the city and sell it for maybe minor necessity and needs that they need for their travels.
Yeah.
I mean, we've helped them 3 times.
Yes.
Maybe we
But-
could call it a small favor. I don't think that's too big of a favor to ask. I mean, it would just be like, if you guys, I don't know, like, gosh, so much stuff to think about.
Look, I have no problem with destroying the temple. It has nothing to do with me or anything in my
Derek,
past.
shut
Okay?
up.
We
I could go
could,
boom boom.
Well, to be fair to Derek, the gods losing a fraction of their power in order to save an entire city might be a fair trade.
But that's what
Especially
I
since
already
they're
said,
doing
though.
yes, but which is what I mean is just destroying this temple. It seems tough. Does do I know if there's does Matthias know if there's like a somewhere close to here that's like a library that I could try to research at?
But
Yeah,
If-
Metius, I think you misunderstood me earlier. I said there's 2 options where the gods lose a fraction of their power. One of those options has 2 negative outcomes, and one of those options have a positive and a negative outcome.
Right.
Destroying the temple is the option with the 2 negatives. Them performing a small miracle comes with a positive that is going to bolster the people's faith in them in the city.
But how can we get them to perform a miracle?
They're all about to show up here. We're going to go meet them at the temple, and that's when we're going to try and persuade them to do the miracle.
Okay,
if
you're right. This is significantly better than just
It's significantly better than destroying a huge monument for them in the
right.
city of Mitros, showing that they were helpless in helping Mitros and losing so many followers that would then go over to the side of Sidon out of fear and bolstering his power because he would have gained a mass following.
True, and then we're also, if the only thing that would talk about that is if they lost their power and Sidon decides to strike again, they would
Then
have
we're
a
just
harder
gonna have to
time
be ready
defending
for
us.
it.
But yeah,
Exactly.
we can prep for it.
Right. Okay.
But that's why I'm saying if they perform this small miracle, we really have to sell them on it. If it comes down to they got to lose a portion of their power, the small miracle all the way. Because
Certainly.
what we can't afford is for them to lose their power and then like 80% of Mitros worshipping Sidon and making him that much more powerful.
Okay. Well, that's very reasonable.
Yeah,
I hope
But
we can be convincing.
me too. Me too. We're not the greatest at it, guys, but me
we
too.
got this.
Question: will we destroy the whole palace, including artifacts, if there's
We're
any in
not
there?
destroying the palace, Derek. Keep up.
N-
She snaps her
n-
fingers at him.
No, my brain still
Here,
gets
here's a
lost.
suggestion.
We're not
Why
destroying
don't
anything, bro.
why don't we just sacrifice Derek?
Oh,
No.
He's like a very important figure. You know, it might look good on side.
But
You
here it
know,
is.
No.
It doesn't matter. Like, Sidon doesn't care. He literally just doesn't care. Derek is a bloop on his radar.
that might be true.
Lies. I am the biggest bloop
Remember,
in his radar. What do you mean?
If Sidon truly was pissed off about what Derek was doing inside of his daughter, he would be attacking Astoria, not Mitros.
Right.
I mean, he attacked those two over
He's
there.
literally known from day one that we've been in Mitros. I mean,
That's true.
in Astoria. He's known that we've been in Astoria. His
I'm a
wife
factor
knows
now.
that we've been in Astoria. So, like, if his true intentions were to get rid of Derek, he's literally known where we've been. And he's
mean-
made no attempt at it. Like, Derek is a little bloop on his radar. There's
I'm
got to be
true,
something
but-
else going on here in Mitros that's making him do this. And honestly, I think it's tied to Gaius. It's a little too convincing and too big of a coincidence that this guy is literally one of the most trusted people to King Acostas, and he's literally tried to kill us 3 times. He's literally like a butt buddy to Sidon, and like literally would kiss his feet at like a second notice if given the option. And now Mitros is being attacked. You have to remember the spy that we found. We don't know if he was coming to or from, or if he was traveling with companions. We don't know if people made it back to the city and like told somebody in the city that we were on our way here next. Like there's a lot of unknown factors in the world right now.
Just a DM comment here. You know, Gaius himself has never raised his weapons at you. It's always been his. It's always been
Dragon.
people. It's always been
Lies.
Well, he's been commanding those people. It still counts.
And he's wearing my clothes.
He shot us with the dragon.
Yeah.
Wearing my clothes, bastard.
So, am I to understand that you guys will go to the Temple of the Five and see if you can convince the gods to perform a miracle?
I thought we were. Pumo said something about Theracles, and there is a market.
Well, he was.
Minotaur
He was
market.
yeah, he was talking about Minotaur market. So
Oh God, I hate that.
This is the
loathe that.
Confederacy side over here.
I hate that. How do we abolish that?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, I'd like
especially
to
as the dawn.
officially
I mean-
go on record as saying I do
We
not
make
like it
this.
either.
Was it the
I mean,
13th
What
Amendment?
was
Once
that,
we get
Mitch? I forgot
big-
to turn you up. I'm sorry.
I mean, when we get more powerful, we could overthrow King Acostas, you know?
Hey,
But we
he's
don't
my.
even know if he's truly bad at the moment. I mean, like, he did say that was a forgery. What if Gaius forged it? I mean, it makes sense. That dude is literally Scion's, like,
Do you know how much it
romance.
costs to
D-Rider.
buy a Minotaur?
Metius, could you make me?
Can I just ask Daddy to buy the whole market?
Yeah,
Yeah,
does Metius know how much it costs to buy a Minotaur?
I'll,
Hey, Dad, can we just buy this whole section
No,
of
how
town?
much do you cost? You know, if I bought you, how much would you cost?
I'll let you in on a little secret, y'all. All the slaves in a market does not end slavery. It just promotes it.
Yeah.
But,
No, how much you
Well,
cost,
we would
bro, I
let
got
them.
you.
We would let them go as soon as we bought them.
Still, you're,
I was just thinking
we have a big enough army, you
buy
know, we
10
could-
of them, yeah, and then
You're
have them
still giving
be our
money.
friends.
You're still giving money to the slavers, meaning they know they're over and over.
Yes.
I know, we're definitely not doing it,
So,
but
Metius,
You know,
Joke,
what's your
joke,
price,
joke.
bro?
Metius,
You know,
I
what's your
smell
price? What's your
Sword
price?
hero. I mean, shield hero all over again. I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, right? That's exactly what I was thinking.
Bro, we all get Minotaur and Minotaurs and they become more fighters for us.
We all get
Mm.
Minotaurs and a dragon.
Metius,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
could you give me a history check with advantage?
Dibs on you know.
Sorry, a what check? A history check?
History check with advantage. What prompted the question?
1.
How much do they cost?
Does.
That
26.
is, yeah, that's a 26. You would know, not quite off the top of your head. You would need to kind of like think about it for a moment. Because, you know, I would imagine Metius never engaged in such activity. So he probably
Nice.
so he probably wouldn't know, you know, like firsthand. But you've heard that the price, I guess, for a Minotaur ranges roughly from 100 gold pieces to 250.
100 gold pieces.
Let's low
to
bond them,
250.
bro.
I would. Okay. I would.
Yeah, 100 to 250. That's usually the price range you're dealing with.
Can we ask
$1.50
why they have Minotaur slaves? Like,
Hold on, you were about to say something, Mitchel?
I would also explain to the group that I would probably say I myself am not very familiar with these kinds of markets, and although I am from Mitros, I have to admit that my interaction with many things here especially people, is actually somewhat limited. I wouldn't exactly say an outcast or ostracized, but I wasn't welcome either for various reasons not entirely known to me. So any of the information that I have would have been through, I don't know, some sleuthing of some kind, or maybe hearing rumors, especially about these terrible things like these slave markets. But I do somewhat remember the price being around 100 to 250 gold pieces per Minotaur.
I
Damn.
might need some money.
Well, I still think the best option might be to have against the gods, but not sure if we have enough time to explore the city or capability of until all this stuff is over.
Considering there's a bit of a hurricane
Yeah.
going on, very unlikely you'll find many places open at this point.
Except the market, maybe.
Yeah, you don't know. So, what is it that you guys are doing, y'all?
Should we try checking out one of the temples first, maybe?
Persuade the gods.
Like the Temple of Sidon or Temple of, or maybe the Temple of the Five God? No, I don't know.
Can't go to that temple, sir.
Well, yeah, that's where we're going to next. I don't think that would be.
Or if he'll kill me if I step in the temple, probably.
You're gonna try and look into the temple of Siren.
No,
I want to die. Please, I don't
I'm
want to
just
die.
trying to think of what to do.
But oh my gosh, I'd still rather do the ox.
Look, Juno doesn't
What
want to
about the
die,
ox?
okay?
I do not want to die.
See, he told you.
Should we take a vote?
Why would he die? Why do you guys keep talking about people dying? Not one option dealt with somebody dying.
I mean, I came up with one, but I don't think it would be much of a help in the
One, if
Sidon
Siren won't kill
situation.
you, my wife will, okay?
You mean the
He wishes.
overthrowing?
She's gonna kill you.
No. It was
Oh.
it's something to do with that guy, and I'll point to Derek.
Hey, look, like I said, my wife will kill you. If not,
What
not Siren, she will.
were you saying, Metius?
If not, yeah.
I think the best option might be to have convince the gods, but
To do the little
you-
miracle.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but
Or rhythm up. Come on.
I think my audio.
Yeah, I'm going with that one.
Give me a moment, everybody. Whoa. Technical issues.
The
Sorry.
temple. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. Sorry about that. I got a technical issue. My audio died for a moment. But you were about to say something, Metius, I believe.
No, I was just asking Drake if he meant to overthrow the king.
No, I was talking about sacrificing Derek,
909.
but that wouldn't
You
really
die. If I die, you die
help
too.
with the storm situation. But anyways, I think convincing the gods might be the best idea because
I'm reading that.
I feel like sacrificing the oxen might be a bigger, long-term,
it's
semi-long
just
term
long
problem
term,
for.
but it's not necessarily bigger.
Oh yeah,
Boo
but a
hoo!
big
People are gonna
problem
have
for
to
the.
eat more vegetables daily.
Yeah, but I feel like you might have kind of a pretty big harm on the city, and then if we destroy the temple, that would look.
How is it?
Worse.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. She's gonna turn and literally do a wide sweeping of her arms because the city's attached to the ocean.
A lot of water, guys.
Look at all that fish.
Fish.
Who eats fish? Nobody eats
Eats
fish.
bro.
Like,
But
honestly, a little boo-hoo that they might have meat off the market, but they'll have fish and vegetables, and there are other animals, and
But didn't he hint something about if we went that option with the Minotaurs?
If there was, it
the
would.
Minotaurs the option with the Minotaurs was they would help work around the city. So essentially, they're still going to be doing exactly what they're already doing. No offense, I really don't want them to be slaves, but this is just a
Just for
Yeah, I think that could
situation
be
that we
tackled at a
currently
different time.
can't fix at the moment, but we will work on it in the
I would
future.
like a side quest DM though to stop.
Side
this.
quest. Save the Minotaurs. Save
So
the
would I, but right now that's not what's on the table.
just for clarification, never once did they say they would work around. They just said that the expense of the city's resources will need to be made up for elsewhere. I never said that they would work around the city, but again, whatever conclusion you draw is your own.
There's not enough oxygen
Hard
to
labor.
sacrifice. Sorry, Juno.
Work the mines.
But it could, if seeing like the five gods are willing to help against Sidon, it might look better for them because it seems like they don't really have a good image here at the moment.
Okay, so the only two options that we're playing with right now is unfortunately the Minotaurs being some hardcore labor workers for the city. We might be able to ask the Centaurs for a little bit of assistance, maybe open up a trade with them. In which that benefits in our favor, or we could do the mini miracle with the gods, in which the city will bolster their faith in them. As pretty much our only two options right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bench.
But I do want to let you guys know that Versailles did say no matter which option we choose, it will have the same outcome.
Got it. Destroy everything.
But she did state that we need to be careful with what we do. So I'm pretty sure that leaves just these two. But I don't like the fact that the Minotaurs are slaves. That's not okay. It's just not something we can presently do right this very second.
Only controversial opinions here. Slavery is not okay.
Yeah.
So I'll ask again, y'all. Like, what's not happening here?
My vote is on the miracle.
It sounds like we're gonna go with the miracle. The gods. We got to convince the gods on how to do the miracle.
Okie dokie. You guys will.
Oh, and hear me out, guys. One last thing. If by chance we don't succeed in convincing them to do the miracle and they go the temple route, we need to have some hard lines. Like Gaius 100% needs to be relieved of his position if they destroy the temple.
I mean,
I don't even know if we
want dragon eggs.
Wasn't Gaius like appointed by Sidon or chosen by Sidon himself? I don't think we can influence a Titan.
Yeah, but we can influence King Acosta that if Sidon is going to get what he wants to a T and have a power chipped from the five gods and their faith highly diminished in Mitros, then it would only be fair in return that Gaius does not have as much sway over the king.
I don't know if we can guarantee that.
I mean, this is just a fail-safe. I don't like Gaius's position. In my opinion, he hasn't really done anything for it except for be a thorn in our ass.
I mean, hey, takes his job very seriously. So.
He doesn't even.
All right, but if we choose this, what would the reward be? I would say dragon eggs. Just saying.
So, as you guys walk over to the Temple of the Five, you will see this, albeit kind of large, very humble-looking structure from the outside. It is not precisely anything that you haven't probably seen before, perhaps. I mean, every temple, to a certain extent, has the very similar, general structure. A couple of side wings, the central part, and all of that. It is, however, once you actually walk up the set of steps and into the into the temple proper, that you're welcomed by the sight of a, well, honestly, a very breathtaking, look. The walls, impeccable. Floor, not a single speck of dirt or grime in there, even with the storm that's been happening. In fact, the only thing that would kind of detract from looking at the general structure of the temple is actually the amount of people that are here. You believe perhaps protecting themselves, covering from the storm outside. You will see actually. Do I have my handout here? Yes, I do. This is more or less how the temple looks like from the outside. Uh, Again,
Wow.
the structure, albeit large, doesn't have any unnecessary decorations. Yes, it has imagery of the five, but it doesn't have anything like gold and embedments, jewelry in the walls, anything like that. It is as to the point as you can get, with a temple. As you walk inside, you're very quickly, encountered by some of the acolytes of the temple that seem to, even without you announcing your presence or introducing yourselves, uh, just instantly recognize who you are, almost as if they were told, like ahead of time, by either Valus or any of the five, that you are indeed, who you are, and you were arriving relatively soon. One of the acolytes looks at you guys and says, "Welcome. You have been. Queen Valus has been expecting you. The rest of the five are already here as well. Please approach. I believe they had something important to discuss with you." Apologies that you could not visit our city in such a better time. Truly, this has been dreadful weather for everybody.
Well, maybe we'll come back in the future on a sunny day and get to enjoy the sights.
Hope,
Hey, are you playing D&D?
hopefully, hopefully, hopefully in the near future. As the acolyte kind of leads you over to over to this central sort of like chapel-like segment of the temple. Uh, Here in the more inner sanctum of sorts, the decoration now changes a little bit. Now to represent the nature of this place. Statues, symbols, and the like of the five seem to be plastered over, like various segments of the inner chapel. In fact, I do believe I have a map for this. Sadly, the quality
There's a
is a little bit weird, but you may be able to get a better visual idea from it through here.
gonna raise up the gods.
We have Derek talk last.
Shush, I'm talking first.
It is not too long after you enter the inner chapel that you will notice at the far back, kind of standing in front of statues and symbols that represent their respective the respective uh, well persons, shall we say, that you see as Kyra, Pythor, Vulcan, and Valus are standing in the center of the room, more or less talking among themselves. Obviously, the fifth statue, that of the goddess Mitros, is, well, there, but nobody's standing in front of it. You will, however, catch Vulcan from time to time look back at it with almost a longing, feeling in his face. Uh, but otherwise, all of the rest of the five gods are gathered here. You can place yourselves down if you want to. I just have the map for visual reference here.
God, he's here.
The
I run up and hug my dad.
upon you guys arriving, and
Got that again.
Pythor kind of realizes you guys are coming in. Pythor turns around and says, Ah, you have returned, or rather, you have arrived. It's been quite a bit of time. Here, over here, my children, let me embrace you.
Weird.
I hug my dad.
He kind of pulls,
Hey!
Drakgar as well into the hug and says,
It's all burnt.
as if it's been an eternity since you last grace me with your presence.
It's well. I don't know. Fuck. I was gonna say I froze. Damn it.
In game, it's only been a couple of days.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
froze.
been 2.5 days. I
I
love
froze.
Dad.
Leave me alone.
I was told by Valos that you all wanted us to gather. Important matters, she said. Ones that
Yes.
are better discussed with us. So we're all here. If I even brought Father along. He kind of gestures at Vulcan, who for the first half of all of that, he's still distracted looking at the statue of Mitros.
I smile and I'm like, hi, Grandpa.
He finally, kind of looks back at you and says, yes, I'm here. I was told that it was important business, so I am here. Now, oh, well, what is it you wanted to discuss, Isabella?
Well, passing the stuff first.
Wait, did he
They
just call me Isabella?
He
He did. He did.
completely got your name wrong.
He has dementia.
Pythor looks back at at Vulcan and says, "Father, please, I have told you my daughter's name is Alexandri, and this one also a son of mine, Drakgar." Ah, yes. Now I recognize you. Yeah.
He brought you cookies.
Oh,
He made you cookies.
yes. Now it's all coming back to me. Ah,
You're working on weapons for us.
sure. Yes. Of course. When I get my mind into certain places, it's hard for me to remember other things. Right. So, what do you want to discuss here?
Well, I assume you guys seen the gigantic, uh, Sidon attack the city, apparently.
Ah,
Attack.
that thing up in the sky. Is that what it was? I thought I felt a breeze when I was coming here. Uh,
Lies.
Python kind of looks back at you guys and says, "Yes, we have seen this. In fact, we've heard stories of the hurricane being around here for quite some time. Quite a couple of days, actually, perhaps a week. Is this is that what you wish to discuss?"
Um, well, yes. Um, well, I don't even know where to start. Obviously, we're doing our best and trying to help everybody. And it has come to our attention that he's possibly attacking this city because he wants to gain followers, possible power, maybe to diminish the hopes of the citizens of Mitros, essentially possibly make you guys weaker. But we don't exactly know of a way to personally vanquish him without getting our hands on a higher source of magic, which we just don't have available to us right now, unless one of you guys can help control storms, and I'm just unaware of it. I mean, that could be an option. But I think that goes against your guys' oath to stop the storm in that way.
So what you're saying here is that you want us to weave a miracle together to stop the oncoming storm that Sidon has brought upon this city.
Yes. And I know when we were speaking with King Acostus, one of the possibilities was destroying the temple, and we don't want to do that.
Oh,
We,
question.
I agree.
Badge.
I think too much negative would come from that, and it would play into Sidon's hands too much. Um, we talked about it a little bit, and we feel like if you guys did weave a miracle, even if you lost a little bit of your power for a while, the outcome would still be greater in your guys' favor,
So,
as Mitros would see the five gods saving the city.
so to surrender a portion of divine power to save the city, and in turn grant it another chance in the future.
Yes. And in return, it would bolster everybody's faith in you, seeing you guys help save the city versus giving up and destroying a monument of you guys, which would play into Sidon's favor and bolster his allies instead.
Yeah.
Well, the fate of the masses is of course important for us five, but giving away your power like that, surrendering a piece of it, even if it's a small piece of it,
I know it's a big favor to ask.
will weaken us in a certain way. Weaken us in such a way that if a great battle was to ever break out, once the Oath of Peace reaches its end, it will be at a severe disadvantage against Siren.
Well, if that time comes, I think we could handle it. And I'll.
I, of course, will
I'm
do.
sorry, what was that? My Discord cut out for a split second.
Drakgar said if a battle comes, we can handle it. Uh,
Um,
Pythor will say, "Oh, do not get me wrong. I will never doubt my children, for you are the offspring of the god of battle himself." Kinda, punches his chest.
Yeah.
I believe in your strength, both of will and of body. He kinda does like a little punch on one of your pectorals, Drakgar. He then looks back and says, "It is, however, as you said, there's a risk here involved." Kinda looks over at Vulcan and Kyra, who are also thinking about it. Vulcan says, "I am an old man. I've seen my fair share of things, as time comes and goes. But the way you said it, how it would, well, in a sense, restore faith for those who see to look upon us. Well, I can't help but think." He kinda looks back at the statue of the goddess Mitros. That's probably how she felt. Vulcan looks back at you guys, still a bit more of a melancholic tone to his voice, and he says, "Right, if that is what it takes, then we shall do so."
will we ever be able to restore your power? Is that something that we could work towards
Kyra,
with gaining more faith?
Kyra
Um,
seems to think, "I'm not sure about that. You see, oaths are a powerful force in Thalia, as you must surely know. Breaking them or even breaching their terms is something that cannot be easily mended, even for us gods. There are laws in this world, and we have to also abide by them, as ordained by the mother goddess Thalia. That's just how things are. Of course, maybe it wouldn't be impossible for us to regain our power, but we have to take. But if we do take this action, it has to be done under the assumption that we won't get it back. For as long as this oath stands, for as long as Sidon's influence stands, it just has to be like that. Now, I can tell you all have given this a lot of thought. And at the end of the day, well, we trust you. We trust what you've done for everybody. I got some really good material out of all of you. She kind of the scroll case that she has. And throughout oh shit, sorry, my voice is cracking. I am sick a little bit.
Anyways.
And throughout all of this, I have to say that not once have I seen something that has made me doubt all of you. Well, most of the time, but we don't talk about that. Um, I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if this is truly the way, then it has to be done. I gotta say, when I woke up this morning, I did not expect to be performing a miracle. Today. Uh, some would say that when I speak to them, that's a miracle in and of itself. Now, if this is truly the way things are supposed to go, then, and she kind of walks back to her original position around the middle monument, which is basically like a world map of Tylea, except done so in kind of like spherical, like matter. She says, "All right, it's been quite a while since we had to perform one of these, so I might be a little bit rusty, but I think I can do it. What about you, old man?" She looks over at Vulcan, and he looks over at you guys and says, "Right. I have been working on those projects on the side that you've told that you've left in my hands and the Fortune Keepers. And I gotta say, you're gonna owe me a lot after this. Oh, I suppose before I go off and do something crazy, it's probably better if I just remind you that there's still quite a bit of time before those projects are done."
Oh, Grandpa, it's okay. We fully trust you and the Forge Keeper. We know you guys are going to put your heart into it. They're going to be absolutely amazing, and they're going to help us save the world. Also here, she's going to fetch the 3 nip hairs out of her bag and hand them over to Vulcan.
Well, these are just the ones that you got from the actress, right? From Arya.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll kind of look at this and says, "Is this hair?"
It's nip hair.
Raises an eyebrow.
Well, I think there's like a lyre and a harp that you guys can make. Essentially, they are for the harp. But
Okay, I get it.
but we haven't fully decided quite yet on which one, mainly because Cassie doesn't know what the fuck they do to choose.
Well, I'll show you the effects in a moment.
Okay.
But Vulcan puts the hairs over in this little pouch. Well, not really a pouch, more like a bag that is kind of attached to his hip. You can tell that when he puts the nymph hair inside, his hand reaches a little bit deeper to what the actual length of the bag would be, indicating to perhaps there's some form of extra dimension
Bag of
bag of holding. He actually, important reminder, because I've been going through my notes here. You guys handed over the axe, and the shield, right? Did you also hand over? Did you also hand over the breastplate?
Yeah, everything that needed repaired, Grandpa brought to the forge with him.
In that case, he's still reaching around in the bag. you see him kind of pull out, well, the breastplate. You guys deliver to him. This, right, this one. I almost forgot. This one didn't need much work compared to the others, so it's ready.
We,
Hands it over to you guys. And
I
then
guess I'll grab it.
moves back into position. Pythor says, well, wish your old man luck. As he also goes back into position. For this, you see like this look that the five gods, well, four, exchange between each other. A look of knowing, of agreement. You see that when they begin to, after they're done sort of exchanging that look, Valos begins to speak up and says, in the name of Thylea, the Earth Mother, the Mother Goddess, she who sacrificed men to the beginning of all life in this continent. Please, we call upon the powers that be to grant us a miracle. And you see as Valos kind of raises her arms, Kyra and Pythor and Vulcan follow suit. And as was there, at least four. Well, let me tell you, Alexandri, part of the lore is that the fifth goddess, Mitros, ascended to proper godhood during the first war. That's kind of general knowledge.
Okay.
Uh,
Wait, but Vulcan's one of the five?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
He's green.
see as Kyra kind of follows up what Val was saying and says, by the faith of the people of Thylea, those who rest their hopes and dreams upon us, for this once shall we act against the oath of peace, to wash away this foul weather from the people of Mithros. Pythor continues, and he says, and like that, a new tomorrow shall be brought about for these people, one that is filled with sunny days and bright smiles. And Vulcan finishes it off by saying, and that will be, for it was, as not only Tylea bid it, but as our fellow Mitros did. You see as in a moment from their hands a flash of bright light emanates that sort of in a beam-like fashion seem to all coalesce in the center of the temple. At this point, all of the other acolytes who are around you guys more or less see this go down, and they are, well, not really taken aback, but in awe of what is happening here. You will see as when the when the beam of light sort of coalesces in the middle, it shoots up into a pillar past the chapel's roof ceiling and goes into the sky. Even from here, through a couple of holes in the ceiling, as some of old Greek temples tend to have, you would be able to notice as when the pillar reaches the sky, that sort of like scowling visage of Sidon that you guys saw. That was the one that like pointed towards you and and shot lightning. Seems to still be there for a couple of seconds until the pillar of light impacts it directly, and with one final sort of like angry look in its face, as the two lightning-filled eyes of the sky, seem to do almost a feral growl down at the ground. The pillar of light pierces through the sky. You see as it begins to turn itself into a reverse, sort of like vortex. Uh, kind of in an almost as if time itself was being reversed. The weather seems to be moving backwards. I guess if I had to put this into equivalent, it's as if you're watching a reverse time lapse of the sky in an instant. Uh, Soon enough, all of the dark clouds, all of the rain, all of the foul winds that were assailing the city of Mitros in moments ago dissipated by this beam of light, this miracle that has been performed by the five. Uh, hold on. Do I have any appropriate music for this? That is not the one. But it is what it is. You will see as when the pillar of light this remains there for a couple of seconds, emanating a couple of almost images that seem to sear themselves into your eyes. Amongst them, one of a golden tree that almost seems to, as like little sparks and segments of the beam seem to, go off in different direction, almost as if they're making like a tree branches almost. Eventually, the uh, well, the beam of light seems to dissipate slowly, starting from the top, from the very point that reaches the sky. The once it reaches the bottom, and all of the other beams of light that the gods, emanated from their own persons, all of them in unison kind of fall to their knees in a moment. Mechanically speaking. Now all of the gods, as having surrendered a portion of their divine powers to stand against Sidon, now gain a permanent level of exhaustion.
Uh-oh.
As my dad starts to fall, I'm like instantly there trying to help keep him upright.
Your noodle arms are not enough to hold up fight.
I'll help. I'll help.
But yeah, with a little bit of help, you can actually hold him up.
Brother, I'm gonna go get Kyra, and I'll let my dad be with brother, and I'll rush over to check on Kyra, Auntie Kyra.
Metius is going to run towards Valis.
When you run towards Kyra Xandri, right before you reach her, she just kind of very weakly with her left arm raises up like a thumbs up to you. Says, "I'm fine. I'm fine." Oh, okay, maybe I'm not fine.
I pick her up anyways because I love my auntie, and she could just get over it.
Okay. Well, at least put me down somewhere nice. And she.
I will help lead her over to Are these like little benches? What are these?
Not exactly. They're like little shrines for the five.
Oh, okay.
But I'll
That
say,
makes sense.
again, this map is more for visual reference than it is for accurate representation. But I will say eventually you're able to help her at the very least against one of the walls. Metius, you go over to Valis. She, though clearly exhausted from the strain, still even now tries to maintain like the air of maturity, of calmness, that she often does. She says, "You need not to worry too much. I am quite all right. It's a momentary bit of exhaustion."
He will deliver a stoic nod and just try to be as polite as he can, putting her back on her feet.
Your help is, regardless, still appreciated. Because you kind of lift her up. Vulcan who's just kind of, still kind of trying to like gather his breath. You see like a hand kind of reaches to his chest, almost as if to make sure like he's not having like a heart attack or something. And he says, "All right, Still fine. Still fine. Oof.
You good over there, Grandpa?
Peachy. I give it a lot of strength and I get
I'll help him up.
you rush over, kind of letting go of Pythor for a moment
No, I'll sit Pythor down and then I'll run over to Vulcan.
over to Vulcan. I'm fine. It's yeah, it clearly was quite a thing. As this is happening, you hear the voices of all of the of all of the acolytes of the temple, and even those who are not really acolytes, those who were just here to protect themselves from the rain. You hear one of them speak up and says, "The five. It was the power of the fives that has stopped the foul weather." And you see as immediately like everybody's begins to like do a very loud like mutter amongst themselves. Now you pick up another voice here in the crowd that says something like, "It's true. Yes, the gods never left our side. We're foolish to ever doubt them. Spread the word far and wide that Mithros is saved." And you hear like a bunch of movement, coming from like the both acolytes and non-acolytes alike, kind of move themselves out of the temple, presumably to go spread the word. You right before they leave, however, you hear like a different voice say, "Oh, and do not forget that it was actually due to the wisdom of the heroes of the Heartlands that the gods came together." Kyra leans over to you, Exandria, and says, "I told them that ahead of time so they would say that."
I smile at her and just give her a hug.
She is gonna pats you on the back after returning the hug. And again, you will see like that movement of like people coming, going out of the temple. In fact, if any of you was to turn around, you actually notice two figures amongst the crowd. That either everybody's too busy to like properly like address, or nobody has the balls to like move them out of the way. Because you see both Chandras and Gaius standing amongst the crowd, actually witnessing this whole event happen. Chandras himself, well, actually, Gaius. I mentally flipped it up. Gaius has a very subdued reaction for the most part. But even then, even at a distance, you can tell there's a resentful surprise, I guess, if I was to describe it, coming from his face, where he kind of almost scoffs for a moment, but other than that, he just does like a one final look at the temple before he walks back. Whereas Chandra's, who is a little bit more emotional, I guess, outward speaking than Gaius. Just kind of does a shrug, like a it is what it is, type of shrug, uh, and he just walks back again without having like a second look. Uh, After that, you do see one of the acolytes kind of run up the stairs. They look over at you guys and at the gods, and says, "Is everything all right? You do not look so good, Lady Valus, Lord Vulcan, Lord Pythor, Lady Kyra. Is there anything we can do for you?" Valus, while still kind of supporting her weight on you, Metius, looks over at the acolyte and says, "I think we just need a bit of rest. For now, make sure the people of Mitros know that the city is safe. And we have these fine people to thank for it." And she looks at you guys. The acolyte like nods along and says, "Very well." And he walks back. Soon enough, he seems to kind of get the message across to the rest of the acolytes. temple to like, hey, don't bother the gods. They're doing important work. Get out of here. And yeah, for the next couple of minutes, it's just like a bit of a, I guess, what you could call crowd control of sorts between the acolytes and the many roused up, I guess, followers of the five that were here to witness this event. You see as Pythor, more or less having catch his breath now at this point, looks at you guys and says, "If this was any other situation, I would suggest we celebrate by well having a couple of drinks in honor of all of us. But I feel surprisingly tired after all that. I think for now the celebration will have to wait. I need to go lay down for a bit." Valus says, "I wish I could take that luxury. Sadly, I have to return to the palace. Now that the storm is clear, Acasus will no doubt want to speak with you again. I'm sorry that you couldn't have your day of rest before meeting with him again."
Is Valis she's my other art, right?
Basically.
Okay. Hold on, I'm just drawing my family tree, sorry.
Well, by extension, she's technically Drakgar's aunt as well.
Yeah.
If you guys don't mind, I don't know what you guys plan on doing, but I think I want to peruse the city and make sure everybody's okay.
I suspect you will only have so much time before the king sends a squad of centurions to find you and escort you back to the palace. But use this time of rest as best
That
you
is
can.
fine. He says the city's important to him. I'm a healer. I just want to make sure everybody's good.
Well, wherever it is you go in the city, know that my protection is not far from you. Although,
Alright, thank you, Valis.
although after this, I have a feeling I may need a little bit more than just a few hours of beauty sleep to recuperate. Kyra speaks up, and in a bit of sibling snark, shall we say, says, "Oh yes, please, because Tylea knows you need it, sister." And she kind of there's like this very like weird look that they exchange between each other of like, come on, really, type of look between Valis and Kyra. Kyra says, "But you gave me just the idea. I may also need to lay down. Dad, you doing over there? You're doing all right over there?" Uh, you see, Volk just has now sat against not even his own shrine, but the shrine of Mitros, the goddess of light. Uh, it's just kind of like sleeping soundly in its in its shade, so to speak. Uh, you will. Kara just kind of nods along and says, "All right, thanks. Good talk." Uh, and she says, "Yes. I guess this would give us some time to rest up. Whatever you guys do after this, well, you're gonna have to do that without me. So, well, have fun exploring the city now that the weather is good. Uh, like,
Does that mean you can't travel with us anymore, Auntie Kyra?
I can. This took quite the bit of energy out of us. But don't worry, this is not enough to dissuade me from coming with you guys. I will make sure to record every last bit of your adventure for as long as I can, obviously. Now, this may put a little bit of a delay on the release, shall we say, of the final script, but it shouldn't be enough to dissuade me from writing. It's just gonna take me a little bit longer. Now, don't let this, however, dissuade you from having fun for a bit. The city is very big, and once you're done with all the official business with the king, do takes your time to, well, go around the city at your leisure. Valus looks over and says, well, it's a good thing that you're allowing people free reign of my city, sister. But yes, what Kyra said is true. Don't let all of this dissuade you from, well, your situation at hand. You may wish to take some time to properly admire the place that you have come to rescue. Now, if you excuse me, I must return to the palace at once. She kind of stops supporting herself on, on you, Metius, and just kind of begins to walk with more slower steps, I guess, compared to how she was walking earlier in the day. Someone has to distract my idiot husband for long enough to allow you time for yourselves. And Valos just kind of makes her way out of the Temple of the Five.
Metius would bow in respect for, I suppose it would be his queen, right?
Yeah, really, yeah, it would be. uh, so, uh, yeah, sorry. Once again, a little bit sick there. Actually, now that that's done with, let's take this chance to take our quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back as you guys will decide what to do next. So we'll pause it here, take some time to go grab a drink or whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, we're back. So, you guys have just, finished up. Well, I guess if anything, convincing the five gods to perform a miracle. They have surrendered a portion of their power to Justice once act against the Oath of Peace and reverse one of Sidon's actions against the people of Thalia. While Sidon himself may think he won because he forced the gods to use their power, in reality, well, the end result is that the people of Mitros are saved, and the gods themselves trust your judgment good enough. So, with that being said, Kara, Vulcan, and Pythor are for the time being out of commission while they rest up. Showered, no doubt, by the prayers of many people who are both devoted and, well, perhaps converted, so to speak, to the religion of the Five.
Yas.
Oh, what happened?
I said yas.
Yeah. So
Let's use that on.
so, well, the praises are many, and they will continue to come. Well, there's still another matter that at some point during the day, the King of Mithras is going to call upon your presence once again. However long that takes, you're not sure because, well, while previously you told him that you needed a day to consider the decision, you reached that decision well before the day was up. So you're not sure if he is going to pick up on things quick and send people immediately after you, or if you have a couple of hours of grace, like a grace period before you're called upon again. Regardless, you have some amount of time to explore the city of Mitros. Uh, where you choose to go is entirely up to you. As I'll move you back to the city map in a moment, as soon as my Roll20 stops.
Xandria's gonna pull her hair up in a bun, and she's gonna be like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go check all of the high impact areas and maybe heal and assist people if needed. You guys can follow or do as you wish. Oh, but that's where I'll be. And then she's got to head out the door in quite a rush, like a jog, brisk jog.
I'll follow in case something happens.
Oh,
But it probably won't, but
so it's
I'll help, however.
Drakgar, Alexandri, you guys are heading off to try and see which areas were most affected by the hurricane. Well,
I can help as well.
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So I can help them as well.
All right, so Porunga is coming along with you guys. Well, you would have seen on your way here to the, to the palace district and all of that, that there are a couple of, I guess, slums, in the lower districts of Mitros. A location that is commonly referred to as Stygian Row. These are, it's basically like the seedy underbelly of sorts of Mitros. Anything from, like I said, like slums, poorly made houses to more of a red light district of sorts where you might find, brothels, like awful looking tap houses, and anything in between. You believe if any place in Mythos was badly affected by this, it would probably be this region. Seeing as not only does one of the rivers run alongside most of Stygian Row, uh, but, well, the structures were already not entirely all secure to begin with. Stygian Row covers most of what this segment of the map is. All of this like bunched up together houses that you see here. This is basically what Stygian Row is in for the most part.
18, 28, 19. Okay.
So uh, you guys would walk through here. It takes you a moment to arrive to Stygian Row. In fact, by the time you guys are already like walking out of the temple and towards there, there's already people that are began to like come out of their houses, now that the storm has passed. Very quickly, though many of them don't yet know the reason as to how or why the storm disappeared. A lot of them just seem to instantly take this as a sign that, oh well, I guess it's time to return to our usual life. You see people often just kind of, immediately just go about their business. They seem to, workers seem to go back to their places of work. Children begin to come out of the streets, come out onto the streets, like begin playing with each other. Some of them jumping on the still remaining puddles of water around the streets. Uh, all in all, you don't really see anything too, uh, too crazy. Uh, if anything, the most you would be able to see is that there's a group of these two younger looking individuals with this robes that seem to indicate they're some form of acolytes of the Temple of the Five. That immediately are kind of like running around the street, or not really running, but like passing around the street, saying, "Please, a donation to the Temple of the Five, for it's the Five that have accompanied us through this rough time, for they are the ones that we should thank for the new weather we are having." You see a couple of people do toss a couple of silver, a couple of copper, their way. Uh, but for the most part, they seem to not really be, you know, uh, drawing too much of a crowd because everybody is more or less more focused on their own business type of thing.
Are they really acolytes or are they fake acolytes?
I'd say because of your, well, what is your background again?
Royal snobby bitch. Noble.
I mean, well,
But my background, I still grew up in the temple.
I guess you are a cleric. I guess you would be able to tell if somebody is truly like an acolyte vibe. Like they certainly seem to dress the part. You do notice, however, but at first you're still not quite sure if they really are. You know, they could just be convincing lookalikes. You get your confirmation when you see a group of soldiers wearing blue cloaks that are the telltale sign of the Order of Siren. Uh, kind of walk past these two young acolytes, and one of the soldiers kind of checks the one of the acolytes, and they continue walking as if that didn't just happen.
I kind of want to. No, I'm not going to draw any attention.
When I see that happen, can I cast Prestidigitate on the person who shoulder checked him and make him smell like he stepped in some very, very horrendous dog shit?
I'll chuckle and then give a fist bump to Sadie.
You do that. You cast Prestidigitation to make a smell emanate from the man who shoulder checked the acolyte, and you know, like around, this would happen like around a couple of seconds after he shoulder checked the other person. So once he does that, you do notice that the other soldiers that were walking alongside him kind of look around until they realize that where the smell is coming from, and they just kind of look at him, look up and down, like, dude, what the fuck happened? And
He shit himself.
the guy just kind of looks at them like, what the fuck are you saying? You know, like they're just kind of looking at each other confused for a moment. They do their best to avoid the smell as they continue moving their way. But yeah, that happens on your way to Stygian Row. You will notice that when you actually arrive at the segment that makes up this region of the city, it is, well, it's very rough looking. You can't tell, like genuinely, it's kind of hard to tell whether some houses were destroyed because of the storm or slash hurricane, or if they already look like that and they're just now wet. Uh, so it's kind of hard to tell with some of these. I guess your best guess is that the houses that are in the closest vicinity of the river segment, would recently be the ones that would have been affected. In fact, when you get to the now lower segments of the of Stygian Row, you will notice that there is still, even now, like a good layer of water that hasn't really been properly bucketed back into the river or anywhere else for that matter. There are some houses that are slightly have like at least an inch or so of water, still covering their floors. You can tell they're people like trying their hardest to like get rid of. Some by buckets, some by just grabbing rags and then like squeezing them outside and then just going repeating the process. As far as any major damages go, you do notice that there's couple of houses that look collapse, and not in the sense that the other ones look dilapidated. This one look recent, and you can tell it's recent because there's people still around the area that are looking at the wreckage. You overhear a couple of comments of some half-orc on the side that says something like, "Shit! Oh man, everything's ruined. Guess I'm gonna have to find another place. What place can I even find? Ah, out of frustration of having lost, like a segment of their housing."
Oh, well,
I accidentally closed out of my character sheet. And this is of the guy whose house has been destroyed, right?
Yes, well, I mean, I believe he could be the owner of that house because he seems to be having like a very bad reaction to it.
I guess we'll approach him.
yeah, I was about
Or
to.
I will.
I was about to ask if. Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
He is still, a little bit too focused on his house being wrecked to really notice you.
You can go first if you want before I say stuff.
Well, I would say something, but I'm kind of I'm not.
No, say stuff.
Nope, I'm good.
Sir,
Yeah. What do you want?
we are the Dawnbringers. We are just walking around and seeing if everybody is hurt or is in need of assistance. Was this your home?
It was. That was just fucking garbage.
I see. Um, you got out. You got out all right, though, correct?
A couple of scratches here and there. Kind of gestures to the segments of his arms and legs that are a bit exposed to his attire. You notice this a couple of wounds, I guess, that perhaps were brought about by either debris kind of falling on him or just in general his attempts at moving out of a rather compact segment of the house.
I do apologize. There was what?
He has like a couple of wounds that you believe could be brought out because of debris falling on him, or when he tried to get out of whatever it is that hit him.
I'm gonna take out one bandage from my bag and kind of like wave at him so he sees what it is. May I administrate this on your arm, sir? So you don't get any infections?
Kind of looking at you, raising an eyebrow. He says, "You like a traveling doctor or something?"
Yeah, very similar to that.
And then while she does that, I'm gonna pick up whatever debris around that I can and try to clean up the area.
Yeah, he's gonna look over at you, Drakgar, and say, forget it. It's all lost anyway."
How much was your house worth as I'm administrating this band-aid?
It was a piece of shit, but well, it was my piece of shit, I guess. Over here, houses are either really cheap or not enough. He kind of looks over and he begins to gesture at a couple of other people that are passing by, more or less naming off like a couple of examples of like who got it really bad during the whole event. At some point, he looks back at you guys and says, "You're not just gonna go all over Stygian Road trying to like help everybody, are you? That's gonna take a while."
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
The safety of others is more important.
He
Might not be able to.
he looks at you like for a moment like he doesn't believe what you're saying. But he does eventually speak up and says, "Well, I'm just happy to not be going around hurting too bad. But there's a lot of other people out there that got it pretty worse.
Do you know which location they may be in?
All over the place. Just ask around. Maybe toss a stone. You're bound to hit someone."
Maybe I won't toss a stone. But maybe I'll ask around. It's very funny. We just got here. What, today?
Yeah.
To see the city being attacked by Sidon was something quite unique and a little bit frightening. But she thinks for a second on whether to say dad or the five gods. So she decides to go with dad because she is who she is. And and then my dad and my aunt and them came to the city and we were able to convince them to perform a little miracle to break an oath to get rid of Sidon and rid the city of his storm.
He looks at you like he does not believe. Well, no, he doesn't believe. Like all of what you said meant fuck all to him, and he says, "Right, of course. I guess that happened." He can,
She smiles because she knows it might sound ridiculous to him, but she's like, it really is true.
sure, lady. He, he just does like a shrug. Eventually, you're done patching him up, and he says, all right, that's enough. I can't be a crybaby all day. Look,
All right, well,
you seem like fine folk, but I'll tell you something. That's not gonna get you too far around these parts of the city.
what do you mean?
Look around you, and you do so, and you begin to notice a recurrent pattern. That not almost nobody really stopped by and helped this man. You were really the only ones who did so. Some people were like bystanders. They saw, this man kind of like painting over, being in pain over his house being fucked. And when you start looking around, everybody who passes by either like avoids eye contact or just quickens their pace or something to that effect. And says, "We're out here, it's out for themselves. You would do wise to start doing the same, otherwise people are going to take advantage of this."
Well, we'll do our best. But I still want to heal as many people as I can if needed while I'm in town.
That's what you want to do, lady. It's your funeral. This,
All right, and then can I sleight of hand put 5 gold in his pocket?
sure. I mean, I guess there's only sleight of hand.
No,
Sure,
I
that 5
definitely
gold.
want to sleight of hand put it in his pocket because I don't want other people walking by to see.
Yeah, he's just a commoner. He can't really see.
CD.
That the sleight of hand really goes way beyond his perception. So he's gonna flick like a couple of like a gold in his pocket without him noticing, and he says, "I'll tell you and your friend here a bit of a secret. There's a couple of places out here in Station Row that you can go if you're really looking for, people who know stuff, I guess. One of them, one down that street, kind of pointing towards the north, uh, northwest segment of the road. He says, down there you'll find a place. I believe that's the the Satyr's. Well, that's the Siren's Roost, I think. Uh, Brothel, but it's manned by this lady who seems to know a lot of stuff. The other one's back.
Oh, well, thank you.
The other one's back there. Kind of points southeast this time around. He says, and over there, you keep heading down this street, you'll find the Satyr's Tail. Bit of a tricky name. It's not actually owned by a Satyr. It's one of them. I would call him Dragonborn. It's a tap house of sorts. Some say, mercenaries gather there from time to time. Who knows? Maybe you'll get a bit of it out of them.
That might be a place to check out.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll definitely go check those out. And before we leave, I whisper, as we actually, no, we can walk away. And then I'll send a message back towards him and whisper in the message, I left you a present in your pocket. It's 5 gold. Make sure you stay well fed and find a place to sleep.
As you move away through the crowd and send back the message, he does look a little bit confused to how, where did that come from? But you see as you walk away that he kind of pats his person to eventually find the 5 gold pieces. That was Porunga, Drakgar, and Alexandria, unless Drakgar and Porunga wanted to do something else there.
I was gonna suggest checking out the Satyr's Tail, but I don't want to go unless the others want to go with, since it might be sad to split up.
I asked that because I didn't exactly hear what Juno and Metius. And
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking what to do next. My bad.
I would probably just be with them.
you're with them. Metius, Derek, you guys as well.
Yeah, but is there like so where we're passing? What does well, first of all, with this guy, the places he mentioned, does Matthias know about them?
Well, that depends. Do you think Metius would have hanged out a lot in Stage in a Row?
So I guess here's the question then: is like with his particular background of being sort of an outcast, would he have had to?
Uh,
Because he would have he must being a wizard and like going to one of the academies, he must have been to school to some degree, right? But would he have had to like would he have been relegated to these parts of the cities
uh,
where
not necessarily, because I'll tell you what. As you guys
Mhm.
are walking around Stage in Row, you will really come to notice that, well, there's almost no humans here.
Okay,
They're all half orcs, half elves, tieflings, uh, dwarves. It's mostly non-humans around this part.
right.
I mean, that's not to say that there aren't any humans. There, of course, are. But in this, their majority is mostly no humans. That being said, if Metius was indeed a bit of an outcast, then perhaps he didn't find too much solace amongst the upper districts of the, the city, because, well, those are mostly humans. Uh, and I'll say that if you spend any decent amount of time in Station Row, you would at the very least have heard the names of these two locales, because they are, that decently high profile within not just Staging Row, but they're actually kind of well known around Mitros in general. It's kind of like that case, that situation where, like, if you go to a small town, there's only like one or two places of note that people keep talking about. Uh,
Right.
kind of like that, except Mitros is by no means a small town. But in Stage and Row, as far as that area of the city is concerned, these are the two places that people often talk about.
Okay. Cool.
So it seems pretty much everybody in the party is traveling alongside. Derek, I didn't actually hear if you were with them or did you went off on your own.
Garrick did not know what the hell happened for the last an hour because I fell asleep.
Well,
The back.
we performed a miracle,
yeah, the gods
and then
performed a miracle, and they now have a
Got it.
permanent level of exhaustion. They have surrendered a bit of their divine power to be able to perform this miracle, but the storm has passed. Now people.
You also got snatched up by Sidon, and we're currently trying to rescue you.
Yeah, you got bifrosted away by by Siren, but no. What happened?
So what?
very unfortunate
No,
you're gone, but
Very unfortunate.
it was
We're
all about the
working up
greater
to
good.
rescuing you. We're getting there.
what really
We haven't formulated a plan yet,
what
but we're getting there.
really happened is that after the storm passed, life kind of more or less immediately started resuming its normality in Mitros. With the word of the cause of the storm being swept away, being spread around by believers of the five gods and other people who were present during the event. You were told by Valus that at some point over the course of the day, the king will call upon you once again, seeing as the storm has cleared out. But there is no specific time frame as to when that will happen, so you have some time to explore the city. What's it called? Right now, you are in what is considered, I guess, like the lower districts of the city of Mitros, which is Stage and Row. It is a place where the slums, the red light district, all of that is at. And your party was informed of two locations to go to if you want, to find some info. These are the Siren's Roost, which is a brothel, and
Mhm.
the Satyr Stale, which is a tap house / tavern.
I know. I'm pretty sure if I were to get any close to that slums district, my wife would cause a
Well,
hurricane
you're
here.
already in the slums district. You were just told of two locations
Well,
of note.
we're screwed, guys. Screwed, guys. Prepare to lose half your HP by my wife.
Not to mention
Just saying.
If she wishes.
that not too far away from stage in a row is the Temple of Theria. But you know that's besides the point. Uh,
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Again, Derek was
The
lost in
temple
his.
is where the miracle was performed, goofball.
no. The Temple of the Five is up here where I put all the tokens of the four gods.
Where we're at.
Miracle was performed. Temple of Lutheria is this area here where I have Chandra's tokens token up.
I'll go with the gang. If I get any closer to that area, she's gonna start a flood here. Sure.
You wish.
Don't test her, man. You're the one's testing her.
Oh, I'll test her. I'll take her. Easy.
You're gonna die.
Anyways, I'll go to the Satyr's tail.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll-
I'll go, but not
I'll-
to that brothel area.
I'll ask everybody where y'all going.
Well, I'll be following the party and giving as much guidance about the city as I can. However, again, I guess he doesn't know too much about the Stygian row.
Bro, if you take us any close to that, I swear to God,
You guys
I'll
are
tell my wife to kill you first. All right?
in the district. So
Too late.
so you guys are going to the Satyr's Tail. Is this what I'm getting?
I think
Guess so.
I think Derek was the only other one, but yeah, I'm going to the Satyr's tail.
I think were we closer to the brothel?
No, the brothel. Well, I mean, I place your token in the general vicinity of Stygian Row because this area is pretty big, like in the city. But I'll say, for the purposes of just convenience, you guys are in equal distance to either the brothel or the Satyr's Tail.
Which one is closer to the ocean?
Technically Satyr's Tail, but is a little bit too inland for any particular long-lasting damage to would have going down there. At least for the most part. You believe it's still within what's considered the danger zone, so to speak, for for the climate that was some moments ago afflicting the city.
All right. You guys are headed to Satyr's Tail, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's my plan.
I think I'll head to the brothel and
Huh?
speak with the lady who runs the brothel. That way we can gather information more quickly, and then we'll meet We'll meet up back here at this bridge in say an hour.
Sounds like a plan, but I don't know if we should be splitting up.
Shush.
It'll
Okay.
be fine.
Why don't you go with your sister, bro? You go to the brothel. You enjoy yourself, you know.
Because my
Mhm.
brother wants a drink, so he's going to the tavern.
Nate's gonna go to the brothel. Got it.
A drink sounds very good.
I need some alcohol to deal with Derek.
Bad. Go to the brothel now.
Nope.
You guys head to the tavern. I'll go to the brothel.
She got more riz than you would do. What the heck?
You know what I just realized is that I never closed the window to my room, so all that cold air has just been going into my room, and I've been sick this whole time.
Seems good, bro. Seems
Not
good.
ideal.
No. Okay, well, fuck.
Now get warm.
Now, so we have two people, well, two groups rather. One going to the brothel, one going to the tavern.
Mhm.
So let's see. I'm gonna throw a die here. On a 1 we do the brothel first, and a 2 we do the tavern.
Cool.
We're doing the brothel first.
Oh.
Oh no.
Well, hey, it may be like that sometimes. So, how do I say this? So, who are all the ones that are heading there? Actually, I forgot to ask. Besides Alexander.
I think
Well-
Derek said he was, but I think he
I'm
might have
not-
changed his mind.
Yeah, the moment I step in there, that lightning strike's gonna happen, and then every woman there's gonna die.
If Exandria's going on her own, then Metius would
Metius
go
go.
with her.
Metius knows a lot about the brothel, huh?
He absolutely
Nice.
does not.
He does lies. Just
Absolutely
saying
Why
not.
that.
don't you
He's
go
just
to the
saying that.
brothel? You sound like you would love to go there.
All right, so
I mean, I would, but I don't want all the women to die in there.
Okay,
Metius, Metius and Accenture,
sure.
Saving the world here.
you guys head over to the Satyr, not Satyrs, the Sirens.
Oh, look at Metius. Is it smart that neither one of us are with the other group?
I'm sure they'll be fine. We're just asking questions.
Next to doubt.
It's a doubt.
The narrator says they were indeed not fine.
And that's when you hear the wizard in the back say, I cast fireball.
So,
God damn it, this is why.
yeah, there we go. That's the fucking music. Anyway, finally, I got the correct one this time around. So, you guys will approach this establishment. That from the outside is actually a very decent looking building compared to the rest of them that are compared to the rest that are around it. Very nice front of the of the building has this sign at the front that seems to, well, true to the title of the place, seem to resemble like a nest of sorts. There, you know, at the entrance, as you like walk through the front door, you're immediately met by the sight of this uh, kind of like very burly looking half orc woman who seems to. Oh, did my internet cut out? Oh, damn. Shit. 1 second. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Welcome
We
back.
Welcome
did.
back.
Yeah,
You're
we
Or
alive.
class.
Yeah,
discussing who
sorry
died.
about that. My internet died for a moment there. But yeah, you guys would walk up, and like the first person you would see is like this kind of burly looking, like half orc woman who seems to be like the bouncer of the place.
Okay.
She doesn't make much note of you, but she just kind of looks over at you guys and says something among the lines of, "Hey, don't be causing any trouble here. I have my eye on you."
Certainly.
Uh,
Certainly.
as you walk up a little bit, deeper inside, you will then see that the inside of this, of this brothel is actually pretty nice looking. Fine silks adorning the walls, very scantily clad men and women walking around. Some of them giving you a couple of looks here and there. There's actually a couple of people here. Now, mind you, well, it took you a bit of time to go up and down Stygian Road and kind of finding people who were having trouble, I suppose. Uh, but even then, that was only a minor fragment of time. It seems that they wasted no time reopening business for people around the city now that the storm has passed. In fact, actually, yeah,
The moment stopped
I
raining.
I do actually have a map for it.
Nice.
Give me a second. Because
The moment
I knew your minds in the gutter would want to come out to this place. Uh,
Not
I
even when
can't.
we're
I told you
here.
I can't come in here. I'm gonna cause everybody to die.
That's
Yeah,
smart.
I don't think
That's
I'm
that's how
smart.
it's
actually
gonna
being
work.
smart here, guys.
Uh-huh.
so yeah, you will see, this. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me, I guess, zoom in a little bit on her
Like
face.
Derek wasn't.
This
Oof.
the lady
Raise everybody
that's
up.
the bouncer. The half-orc lady. She kind of just like gestures you inside, but still has like a sort of like, watching you type of demeanor going on. As soon as you walk inside, you are met by this other lady who's wearing far more extravagant clothes that anybody else here in this establishment. She appears to be a siren of sorts, more or less having features similar to that of I guess what would be like a white feathered peacock of sorts. Uh, she says, "Welcome, dear visitors, to the Siren's Roost. I am Ambrosia, and for you all, and for all our dear customers, we have the finest fruits of immortality available. How may we serve you?"
Well, my name is Alexandria. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ambrosia. Um, we were given some intel that we could come to your establishment and speak with the um brothel keeper or owner. I do not know which phrase would be correct here. About if they are requiring any assistance or know of anybody who might be needing help while we're in town.
Well, then you have found me. I own this establishment, and I hope that you can find something that suits you. As far as information goes, well, my boys and girls listen to all sorts of stories from our customers. Perhaps asking one of them may help you, if you believe their time is worth your money.
You're a little laggy.
Oh, am I lagging a little bit? Hello? There we go.
You were.
Uh,
I didn't hear anything but the word money.
okay, basically, she said that, well, her boys and girls listen to all sorts of stories from their customers. And, maybe if you're willing to, recompense them for their time, they might be able to, to give you information if that's what you wish.
All right. Do you guys have drinks here?
Of course, we take great efforts to pay for all of our customers. Please, find a place to sit, and we shall deliver something.
Oh, she's gonna look at
Is everybody
Metius.
here, guys?
Where would you like
I'm
to
scared.
sit?
Well, I mean, and anywhere is fine, I suppose.
I will follow
Probably.
Metius.
All right, he'd probably go over here, so that there's potentially like a. I assume this is a step up.
Yeah, it's a bit of an slightly elevated position from the rest
Yeah.
of
So
the.
just to get a bit of a better look.
You will see that as you are led to your seats, Brosha. She goes over to the tavern and begins to right away sort of like ask the two barkeeps to fix up a couple of drinks. The rest of the as you guys survey, I guess, the area, you will see a couple of people that stand out to you. Like the aforementioned scantily clad men and women. All in all, they are pretty attractive. You see a couple of humans, a couple of maybe half-elven individuals. One dwarven lady seems to be amongst the potential companions, shall we say? Uh, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of people going on.
Can
Yeah.
can we kind of let's look here. I'm going to get up and I'm just gonna like kind of like fluently dance around to the music as I like wait for our drinks to come back and I'm just gonna kind of like dance around and like listen in on people's conversations to see if anybody's talking about something that they may need assistance with.
Uh, well, hmm, I guess make me a perception check. I'm gonna mark with with their names uh the people that are actually have names. Uh, 17. You hear a couple of things as you begin to meander about the area. You see as, or would hear rather, as uh, you know, a couple of the customers who, the ones that aren't in rooms, I suppose, already, would be, more or less venting, I guess, saying a couple of things to the people around. You will hear that for the most part, it's just idle chatter, such as, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back to work now that the weather's all good." There's the usual things that people seem to be worrying about, I guess.
They were enjoying that snow delay.
Yeah,
Mm.
they were living it up, now that the storm was coming in. You hear another person somewhere there say something like, "Oh man, I thought the world was gonna end, so I spent a lot of money like during this whole shebang." Uh, it's more or less is people venting out their frustrations, to the workers here. As far as anybody having trouble needing help, I mean, besides the aforementioned sort of like very first world problems, I guess that you would hear. You don't particularly hear anything that sounds I guess urgent. Uh, if anything, you would hear a couple of the workers say stuff like, "Oh man, I've been getting that many customers since this whole hurricane started. Hopefully that'll change later on." Uh, you eventually, your drinks are delivered to you. Well, to you, Metius, because you're still in the seat. Uh, one of the
Is it like wine?
it is wine.
Yes.
Very sweet smelling wine.
Oh,
You're not sure if they like honeyed it up a little bit or if it's just how the wine's supposed to be. Uh, as the eventually, one of the workers will find you walking around Alexandria and delivers a drink to you. Uh, you will, see as you're wondering about doesn't go unnoticed. Both Ambrosia and the half orc bouncer, Vorena, seems to just kind of like be looking at you from like across the area, almost as if like, okay, are you gonna pick someone, type of thing. Uh, but like eventually, once you're done kind of doing like a circuit around the place, and uh, and sit back down next to Metius, uh, someone will approach. You see one of the people around here, one of the escorts, approach you guys as you sit back down. This guy over here. Uh, he approaches you guys and sits beside you as if he knows you already. Uh, he will say, "It is not often we get visitors as intriguing looking as you two. Is there anything in particular that brings you here?"
We are interested in stories.
Ah, well, you're in luck. Most of us have quite the intriguing repertoire of stories. Most of them not ours, of course, but, well, that's client confidentiality.
Um, these stories that we are interested in are those of tales of those seeking help or Cassie's brain just went blank. What is it when people? What is it? A myth? No, not a myth. I can't remember the word. My mind went blank. Or those of stories of where great beasts could be found.
Well,
Legend?
great
Sorry.
beasts is a term that some customers often use to refer to certain parts of their bodies, but I don't think
mm,
that's what you're asking here.
Nope.
Right.
We'll pay you.
Well, since you make the offer so enticing, then yes, I have heard of a couple of things. Although, before I say anything, I must make sure that you are people of trust. How good are you at keeping secrets?
Well, really good at keeping secrets, actually.
Well, and you? Looking at you, Metius.
I think that Metius would not say anything and just be looking him over,
Um,
kind of nod.
See
I
anything?
do apologize. My friend is one of very little words.
Like here, I thought he was just in awe of my beauty.
Hmm.
So I guess there's no big surprise there. Being the son of the god of battle tends to have its benefits.
What?
What?
Is that true?
Huh?
Why, yes. In fact, if you were to ask around my fellow co-workers, all of them will tell you that they are the son or daughter of a very important individual. Whether that's true or not, well, it's up to you to decide.
Huh?
Is he bullshit? Can I insight him?
Wait, what?
You can try insight check him.
Son of a god, Han. Confused. Let's say you're son or god of what's his face, my best buddy. Like, what?
13. You know, maybe it's the wine, maybe it's the ambience, maybe it's the way he's wording his sentences, but something about him doesn't, something about him seems honest, I suppose you could say.
Who would
Something
have
about him
thought?
is honest, you said?
Honest, yeah, he
Okay.
seems to. I mean, if he is telling you a lie, he seems to genuinely believe that what he's saying.
And may I have your name again, sir?
Ah, you're lucky those are free. The name is Callister. A pleasure to meet you.
Callister, possible brother.
That's
Ask
right.
dad later.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
So, if I take your answer as a yes, that means you are good at keeping secrets.
Certainly.
Well, I think of this as a transaction of sorts. I'll tell you one of mine, you tell me one of yours.
Fair deal.
Good. I'm already liking this already. Now, before I tell you my secret, you're gonna have to tell me one of yours. I have no.
Do we have to pay in secrets? Can I pay you in gold instead?
Oh, where's the fun in that? I wouldn't say no to gold, of course. I have a quota to uphold after all. But if you want to be boring about it, sure.
Well, Exandri, do you wish to give up some secrets?
She's going to lean in and she's got this big ass smile on her face.
I'm so
And she's going
confused.
to say, let me dig through my pile of secrets.
I gotta lie, Dirk not supposed to be here. Dirk doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Knows.
What was my sister's name again? I'm looking through my notes.
Nora? Princess Nora?
Oh yeah, Honora. Okay, I'm gonna be like, I was one of the 5 who helped save Princess Honora of Astoria from being sacrificed.
I heard stories about that.
Okay.
Word travels pretty fast. So, wait, don't tell me. Does this mean that by proxy you were also part of the group that hunted down that dreadful boar in the Heartlands?
I am going to just wink at him without replying.
Ah, I see. Well, not quite of a secret when your identity is well known. And, wait, that means... Ah, well, now this is kind of awkward. He kind of looks over at you two guys and says, Ah, well, forgive me for not having recognized you sooner. Your reputation precedes you, both of you. Apologies that we couldn't meet under, well, circumstances outside of my work schedule. I would have prepared a gift for you.
No worries, we
Oh.
don't need gifts.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Well, it's just your exploits carry far and wide. No longer are you just a couple of local people who brought down a boar. That's a thing of the past. Now your name carries weight around. And,
The only
Um,
thing we require is knowledge.
Okay.
well, I suppose since you give me something, I have to say that something in return. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. He kind of, sits down a little bit closer to you guys, as if trying to keep the our appearance that he's just, doing like idle sweet talk, but still, it's actually in actuality, retailing a bit of important information. He says, I happen to hear from a couple of customers of a very bad rumor. A rumor that involves, well, a certain temple around here. A temple that belongs to a particular lady of the dreams. Does that pique your interest?
Xandria's gonna play along and she's going to like keep up the aesthetic because obviously he's telling secrets instead of like being like the typical customers might be here. So she's going to like do like a little playful giggle or like make it look like she's flushed, and then she's gonna be like, "Of course."
Well, in that case, the rumor that I've heard is, well, like I said, quite a dreadful one. I have to hear from a couple of people who are, well, in good trust of mine, that the Temple of Lutheria is currently housing a dark secret. I believe they are related to some disappearances that have been happening around here recently. Many people don't look down to this lower segments of the city quite often. Why would they, after all? Everybody who sees us from all the way up there sees nothing but common rabble. They wouldn't notice when someone goes missing who wouldn't be missed. But we notice. Boy, do we. I have reasons to believe that these people who have up and vanished are actually, well, somehow connected to this temple area. While I never saw them directly, I can assure you that not too long after those people vanished, there was always one person donning those black robes around the area.
Did you say black robes?
Yeah, he's actually referring to the attire of the priests of the area.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if our dear High Priest of Lutheria, Chandrus, is aware of what's happening here. Though it wouldn't surprise me if he is. But at the very least, I know of two people who might. They are currently the ones left in charge of the temple in Chandrus's absence. They are, I believe, they go by the names of Trellis and Septia. If you run into them somewhere along the way, do be careful. They might be hiding more than what you think.
That was
Trellis
a
and Septia.
very good secret.
Yeah, that's the name that I giving. So,
I spelled my names wrong.
so, was that a good enough secret for you?
It was a beautiful secret, sir.
Oh, please, you need not address me as sir. Just call me by my name, Callister.
Name
Well,
sounds sus.
Oh, and
Yeah,
by the way,
you're not even there.
oh, and by the way, if the stories are true, then, well, there's another one of my siblings accompanying you and your group. Is that correct?
Guy over here.
um, depends. What have you heard of this sibling?
Well, that they are possessing of a strong body almost on par with our father.
Oh, yes. That would be my brother Drac.
Yes, I heard. Well, do give him my best regards.
I will most definitely give our brother
There's,
your best regards.
there's plenty of us, offspring of Pythor. I run around Thylea, but it's very rare the case where we get to meet and speak face to face. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you should tell him to visit me during work hours, but just know that I wish for him the best.
She laughs. She's gonna be like, you do know I live in the palace in Astoria, right? And Nora's my sister.
I would rather
Pythor's my dad.
right, I would rather not address that subject considering our initial approach. Now, I should probably get back to it, otherwise the boss's lady is going to be a little bit suspicious. Or
No worries.
maybe even if she knows, she probably doesn't care. And
Um,
and you, he kind of looks over at you, Metius.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to, well, you're gonna have to speak a little bit more. It doesn't do to have such a strapping face without a voice to accompany it.
There's absolutely no way that Metius knows how to deal with this situation. So I think he's gonna like nod and kind of avert his eyes slightly.
Well, I suppose like the strong and silent type. Now,
I'm not usually this silent. It's just not my area of and he's just gonna trail off a little
Free
bit.
cat.
it's his first time, and then I'm going to
Raising.
give Callister a gold coin.
Raising.
oh, please, you insult me. Just my time is worth a little more than this, don't you think?
I don't know how much to give in this situation out of game.
Well, as
I
as
flip
that.
the coin through my fingers and it turns to 3 gold coins.
So give me a moment, because believe it or not, the fucking module
9.
gives me a table of price per escort per companion in the Siren's Roost.
That's great.
Huh?
So let me read this real quick.
Which
Can I have that, please?
No.
how much is there?
I mean,
Was there like a food menu when we walked in? I could have picked up to browse.
but obviously, this
Shush.
how much the actual service, I suppose, if you could call it that, is worth. Obviously, he won't charge you the amount that he charges regular customers. So for Callister, he's actually on the slightly cheaper side of the menu.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
He
It's cheap, Sag.
his time, so to speak, would cost you 50 gold pieces. Uh,
What?
but because this was only talking, he will say, "Please, at least 10. I do have a quota."
Well,
I'll
Go.
hand over 10.
okay. I think that I'll hand him a platinum piece, which is 10 goldery.
Ooh. Keep that up, and you're going to be breaking a couple of hearts around here.
XDD.
Callister, if your boss asks why you didn't make the full amount, just tell her it was weird to find out that we might be related.
She
I
understands.
think I'm.
She understands that. Don't worry. It is the risk you run when your father is the son of battle. You know what they say? He loves all of his children. He just loses track of them sometimes.
Before you go,
Sausage.
might there be somebody else in this brothel that might have an interesting story to tell?
Oh, all of them. Truly, if you were to look around and ask, certainly anybody would be willing to entertain you. But, well, you know,
Sauce.
it's up for your preference, truly. We listen to all sorts of stories around here, and the boss lady herself is, well, very wise, if I should say, should put it one way. Well, don't bring up the owner of the Satyr's Tale around her, though. They have a bit of a rivalry going on for quite a couple of years already.
Oh, that's funny. That's where the other half of our party went.
Oh,
That's good to know.
well, ain't that a coincidence? Now, I will bid you farewell. I have to go back to my ship.
Alright. I'm going to nod my head to Callister. I'm gonna clasp Metius on the back. I'll be like, "All right, Metius, you got this. I'm gonna go talk to Ambrosia, and you find somebody to talk to as well, okay?"
Well, I am not well. I could, however,
Bad.
um,
Bad.
it's this isn't really my specialty. I suppose. I guess I'll ask you first beforehand. Do you think we should try to get some information on the Minotaur market? Do we have any interest in that?
Um, you know what? We do, most definitely. Um, so if you want that one to be your primary goal to uh investigate while we're here, um,
I'll try to gather whatever information I can.
okay.
Right. Before we continue here, let's come
Mhm.
back to the rest of the party. So you guys, you walked into the other place, the Satyr's Tale, which is well, unlike the Siren's Roost, this place is a little bit less lavishly decorated. It is a bit closer to what would you call a pub, I guess, nowadays, than this brothel. Oh, are you doing alright over
Sorry, I'm dying.
there?
Dying.
It is, very. I guess if I was to describe the decoration, is that there is none. It's very to the point. You're coming here for drinks, and the locale doesn't beat around the bush with that. You get what you you get what you ask. It is a sort of like grayish sort of establishment that, despite its rather drab atmosphere and the fact that the map isn't loading, uh, despite its rather drab atmosphere, it is for the most part uh, actually very packed with people. You will see that there's a lot of individuals gathered around here. A lot of them look very rough and tumble. You know, a couple of scars on some faces. Exposed biceps on some of them to kind of show off their strength. Uh, Others would look a little bit more like your average individual that is just kind of here to wind down after the stressful uh, number of days that the storm went on for. You guys can place yourselves down like around here. Oh, my ping is not. There we go. As you walk into the establishment, the right away you will see this, well, Satyr, that is currently in the middle of a performance. He has. Oh, well, you guys all fucking piled up on top of the Satyr. He has.
Oh, my bad. Oh,
Wrecked.
He
We
has
won.
like
Wreck.
a lute. I think that's the name of the instrument. That he is currently playing in a almost in a type of music that it almost seems to resemble jazz of sorts. kind of just trying to make the atmosphere, like a little bit smooth for the people here, almost as if he himself read the room of all the people that are trying to wind down and is just doing music accordingly. He does kind of like look at you as you walk in, Derek. Uh, just kind of like stares at you while still playing his instrument, and then just continues doing so, as if not want anything to really
Get
distract.
Chad.
Uh,
Get Chad.
do you see that at the far, at the bar counter, there's this Dragonborn looking individual that seems to be like the one kind of like ordering around the people who are like delivering drinks. He seems to be, well, almost approaching the like the orders he's giving, almost as if he was like a military officer commanding his subordinates. Very direct, very to the point, and with a somewhat stern tone of voice to his command. He kind of sees you guys approach, and he kind of looks over at one of the other workers here and just kind of lets them take over for from one of the customers, to tend to one of the customers. And he looks over you guys, points, and says, "Hey, welcome to the Satyr still. I know, not a Satyr, that's just the name of the place. What can I get you?"
I'll ask for a drink and then sit down and actually I'll just move here, I guess.
Well, you look like an ale person, so sadly we don't have any aloe vera to cover up those burn marks on you, buddy. But but I can at least get you something to numb the pain.
That'd be appreciated.
See him walk back to into the one of the barrels and just begin to fill up a couple of jugs, or mugs rather, but they're kind of like the size of jugs. Uh, the rest of you guys, you're following Drakgar?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna go get a beer too.
Okay.
Why not?
I as well.
Well, we don't usually have people walking in big groups unless they're mercenaries looking for a job. You're not one of Arkan's people, are you? Nah, I feel like I would recognize you if you were.
Yeah. No, we're from oh frick, I forgot the name. Oh, why do I have to blank right now?
Astoria?
Yeah, Astoria.
Ah, historians, huh? Well, suppose one can never just assume. Right. He kind of does like side glance at Porunga for a couple of seconds. Tell Porunga in his expression that even he finds it weird to see a fellow Dragonborn. They are not a common sight in Telia. He, well, by the way, looking at him, you will notice that he is actually the coloration of his scales is a little bit off. It looks mostly green, but it's like this faded, like green coloration, as if he is like reaching his older years. And the pigmentation has sort of like started to vanish from his scales.
It's a real dragon.
Uh, he says, "All right, here's your drinks. Now, couple of ground rules here. Try anything funny, my boys will make sure you get your ass out of here soon before you can say fight." And he kind of gestures at these three people that are kind of stationed at quote unquote strategic points around the tavern. Uh, you see, he points kind of like at the. Oh shit! I forgot. You guys can't see my thing. Here we go. You see, he points at this guy, and another guy further down. That is towards the corner of the place. He says, "Besides that, you're free to drink to your heart's content.
Alright.
Oh, just don't like puke all over the floor. Otherwise, that's gross."
A trash can just in case.
Oh my god.
He just kind of stares at you for a moment.
I'm shaking my head.
I'm here to have some fun, all right.
If you're going to puke, just go back out the back of the at the
I got it.
kind of like just Luke has like a double take of Derek for a moment, and then he looks over at the at you, Porunga, and in Draconic, you hear him say, "Is your friend lightweight?"
Wing.
I nod and say yes.
He kind of nods along and just kind of goes back to his business. So what do you guys do?
Have fun.
I'm just gonna listen around at the moment. Listen, see if there's anything, survey, and see if there's anything important, like, or if I don't know how to put it into words. What I'm, uh, uh, yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna drink my beer for now.
Okay.
Bear, make this normal, kinda, sorta. Normal.
I guess whoever's trying to listen in on rumors, make me a perception check.
I'll do it. 'Cause I have good perception, I think. Reception check.
Damn.
Yeah. Eights.
My
Frick
second
eights, we're
roll
talking
had to
about.
be.
It's well, Porunga, Juno, are you guys also listening for rumors or not?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
All right, roll.
Every drink that Derek drinks, I'm gonna match.
Now we're gonna have a drink off between all of us.
It means we're not gonna fight this time, I promise you guys.
We haven't fought since the first episode.
Exactly.
It's you and
If I say the magic words, then I'm pretty sure we'll start fighting right now.
yeah.
Okay. So,
see the D word.
yeah, do roll your perception as well, Juno. But basically, here's the deal. Dragon Derek is a little bit out here. Despite the rather smooth music ambience, it's a little bit, rowdy with people here. You can hear Drakgar and Derek, and you would hear more or less the same thing. You actually pick up on a couple of idle chit rumors of sorts that are being, said here and there. Dragon and Derek, you both hear the same thing, which is one of the people. Somebody,
I think your mic's cutting out.
yeah, somebody has some noise in the background.
Oh, should be Jay.
One of the a couple of the people here kind of are talking amongst themselves, and you hear them comment something among the lines of, "Oh man, did you hear? One other merchant ship was attacked just off the coast of Mithrus. Cerulean Gulf is getting dangerous these days. Now there's rumors of chimeras and stuff going around. To think that such creatures can attack just a days away from Mithrus. Ugh, makes me glad I'm not a sailor."
Oh, sorry.
You, Porunga, you hear. Actually, before we cut to Porunga, because you got the highest one, Juno, you would hear another person say, "Well, it looks like a great vortex Charybdis has swallowed another ship. It was from Risha, so I hear. No trace of them ever remained. At least that's what the sailors back at the port are saying. You think there's anything out there in those islands that is drawing people closer to more dangers? I can't imagine myself going to any of those anytime soon." And Porunga, you actually catch two things. One, is a little conversation that is happening between these two individuals not too far away from you. These two individuals appear to be tieflings. Uh, in fact, you believe them to be twins because they look very much one like the other. Uh, this guy and this guy. Uh, they both seem to be having like a conversation that is purposely done in like very harsh tones to the point where only one of them can, presumably, the point being that they only can hear each other. But you can tell they're making comments on like people as if they're like people watching, so to speak. They're kind of like saying, "Oh, that guy over there, he kind of looks like an easy mark," or like, "Oh, or you actually do pick up that they could actually be talking about you because one of them does say, "What do you make of the big guy?" I don't know. He doesn't look too smart. Uh, you know, and, and another comment that kind of goes, "All right, what about the Satyr?" Yeah, also pretty oblivious, don't you think? Uh, and that's the one thing you pick up. The second thing you pick up is this a little bit easier to pick up this one around because this comes from a very of the more rowdier segment of the tavern. You see this half orc individual that is a little bit more orc than whatever the other half is. Uh, donning like this, like heavy armor. He's kind of like sitting in one of the back chairs of the tavern, and he's kind of raising like his mug of ale. And a couple of other people that are around him also raise their mugs as well, almost as if like celebrating a job well done, so to speak. You're not sure what exactly the job is, because it more so just kind of comes out as a bunch of like grunts and like cheerful screams. Uh, but amongst the noise, you catch a couple of the other people who raise their mug at the same time, saying something along the lines of, "Yeah, we sure showed them, boss," and something to that effect. So that's what you all would hear.
Okay.
I'm just gonna warn the guys about the two sketchy people.
The ones that were.
Robbing someone.
These two are these two are here.
Yeah. And they might be talking about Drakgar.
What they say? What they say about me?
They say the big one that doesn't look too smart.
Call me stupid. What?
I'll just angrily look at him and then not do anything.
Rage. Enraging. No balls.
They don't, one of them, the one that is, angled in such a way he can actually look at you, uh, does look over, notices that you look over his way, so he's gonna like, like hunches over a little bit more to make sure that the conversation remains private. Uh, as far as you can tell, there's a couple of very shady looking individuals here, and most of them seem to be, well, people who look like they are, while not perhaps plotting anything against you specifically, definitely have something going on beyond what meets the eye. Well,
Hater.
you're not even sure if the owner himself may have something. His reputation, I mean, after all, this place was told to you as one where information could also be gathered, and there's a bunch of mercenaries that gather here. Whether those mercenaries are ones you wish to engage with or not, well, that's up to you.
Mm.
That being said,
Probably not at the moment.
with that being said, we are sadly at the end of our session time.
No.
So we're going to have to stop this here for a moment as the party takes a bit of downtime, but not really downtime, in the city of Mitros, uh, before the king calls upon them once again. Uh, that being said, well, one good thing did happen today. In unironically, we did, Patrick. We saved the city. Except it's not on fire. It is completely fine. And well, obviously it was the four gods that did the magic miracle to wipe the storm away. It was through your convincing arguments and your somewhat quick thinking uh, that they were able to gather in the first place and well come together to a common conclusion. Uh, and with that, for now, that's going to be the end of the session for today.
No.
Fine. We'll figure out what we're doing next time, guys.
BT
You either
Dubs,
fight them and kill them, or you do nothing.
BT Dubs.
I don't think we should try to fight it right now.
Just because,
Shush, mortal.
just because it gave me a bit of anxiety, I will, I will allow Gar and Porunga to roll hit die as if you took a short rest to at the very least get back some health.
Oh. Get struck by lightning and freaking Derek's trying to pick fights. God dang it.
I mean, hey,
I
It's on you for not healing yet.
Well, we haven't had a chance to get a long rest.
Yeah.
I mean,
We literally just got zapped and then freaking.
yeah, because you
We're
just
just
walked into the
sitting
city,
here.
you just walked into the city, got sapped, and immediately got to thinking of how to deal with the storm. Now,
All right. I'm gonna have to take off, guys. Was fun. I'll talk to you guys later.
right.
Ciao.
I definitely healed Puruga, my brother, in the throne room, though.
All right.
Oh,
Pulling dynamite. Let's go.
I do want to apologize. I always have a bit of anxiety when I run this mostly heavy sessions. I hope it's
Didn't do it. We didn't do this in anything this time.
I hope,
Good.
yeah, I hope it wasn't too tedious. I hope it wasn't too boring for y'all. You know, uh, sometimes not every situation requires somebody getting their face punched in.
I love
Derek, you volunteers tribute?
Uh, but well, I hope that despite all that, and my constant voice cracks and bad throat, I hope you guys had a good time. And you enjoyed your time here.
Definitely.
Oh shit!
Mm.
Need to end the recording. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, please continue watching, continue following along the adventures of this group. Well, though the danger of the storm may have passed, the calm after the storm may be just as dangerous, if not more so. So, with that being said, we'll wait till next week to figure out what's going to happen with this group of people.
No.
And like that, we end the recording.